Alrighty, folks, it's time. We're back. It's California, and we're here for another stream.
Jesus.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I just kind of took one to the face. Hello. And Mrs. Tomato definitely has a Nerf gun. Just started us off fresh and clean. YouTube. I don't know how I was able to make it happen, but YouTube was about to not load for the last couple seconds there, and it did, and we made it. We're in. Good to see you all. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome back. We are back to the good place, the good time, and I'm going to have to ask you all over and over and over again today how the music is doing, because I can't listen to it. I am on a one PC stream right now because I'm still working on getting the other PC up and running. So we don't normally stream through this computer, and this computer's got some audio problems, some big audio problems. So I can't hear the music at all for the entire stream. I won't know what's going on. Now I'm going to count on you guys to make sure I'm not playing things too loud, but that doesn't mean we can't stream. Doesn't mean we're not here for the stream. Whoa, what's going on with chat there? I got good things planned for y'all today. We've got some stuff to go over. I have been missing things. What music? Don't tell me there isn't music. Is there? Oh. Ow! All right, she got her gun back. Are you out of ammo? Good Lord. It opened a new video on YouTube. If possible, someone should jump onto the old stream and send them to a new one. What? It opened a new video. All right. In that case, I'm going to have to figure out where it sent the stream and rename everything. We're going to have to redo the thumbnail, and we're going to have to share the link over to the others. Well, we're back. We're back in the good place, right? It can't all be good. But yeah. Not like I couldn't have tested this all before. All right. Let me share the link into the chat there. Thank you guys for your patience. Always. It's a joy streaming on YouTube. It really is. Music is right. Don't change anything. Cool. To me, it just sounds like a... Actually, can I play this to you guys? Hold on. Let me see if I can play it through my headphones to you. Listen. Oh, nope, that's just feedback. Yeah, it sounds awful. Thank you. But anyways, we are back. We're here. Give me another one. Give me another one. Yeah, keep it going. Keep going. Yeah. Guys. It does feel really nice to be back. It's been a crazy couple of months. We've made some big decisions now after this crazy couple of months, and I can confirm and affirm we will not be switching things up again. We're not going anywhere. 9 a.m. I know I'm late this morning. Sorry about that. 9 a.m. every time, right here. We're gonna be going over the news of the week, playing some good games, talking about space stuff, and in general, just enjoying our time without the constant dropouts, without the constant unprepared streams and all that kind of stuff. I am so pleased to be here. We've got a little bit of a hike to go. I'm not going to lie, over the last month or so, the main YouTube channel has kind of died. And I'm not going to say that's all because of Space Games Weekly. I think Space Games Weekly was a little bit of a confusion for YouTube for sure, and unfortunately we've canceled that, but bringing it back on the second channel, hopefully. But I do think that just in general, we were not as focused over the last couple of months. And it's something that we're going to work on going forward. So thanks for being here with us for that. You don't like this at all? You don't like this new YouTube thing? What is it? What is it doing? What's going on? What did YouTube do to you? Be cool. Be cool. Be cool. Welcome in to all my good friends, Vastin. Thank you for the help with the audio getting set up here. Obviously, new setup, so things are a little bit off. Maverick, good to see you, man. Arctic, PK, my man PK, pay you back. Mr. Sugar, welcome in. Gargrantis, getting the last bits into that giveaway we've got going on for the RSI Meteor. That's still happening, but it should be ending today. So we will be pushing it to some lucky person in the chat getting themselves an RSI Meteor. Yo, hey, thanks for the subs on Twitch. Twitch always got us hooked up and ready to go. Thank you, Lurch Lord, Abs, and Lobu. Appreciate you guys. We're back with Toes Gang too. It is still here from last time. Faults and Wobbly, Fola, Rig, and Gunslinger. Thank you guys for lighting up the stream last time we were out here. Maybe it was just the specific song. Perhaps. What's up, Nasty Master? Good to see you. AAK, welcome in, buddy. Daft Digit. Astro Monkey, Lurch Lord, Space Marine, Matt Sully. Welcome in, everybody. Jake Scorpio, Biker. Mr. Biker, Big Matt. And what music? I see you. I hear you. Mad Rhetoric, good to see you. Mauricius. Makes me want to say Moriarty. Moriarty. How you doing today, dude? Best Shifty. Did you change your name? Best Shifty. Are there other Shifties now? What's going on? What's happening? Oh shit, Nerfly, my man. We got our first Toes Gang back. First Toes Gang on the board. Let's go. Oh my god. Sorry, there's smoke in the air and I'm a little too hyped. But can we get some hype in the chat from my man Nerfly? Thank you, dude. 5 memberships. Fola? Shit, guys. Wait a second. Hold on. I gotta be able to keep up now. I don't have enough air for it. PK lighting things up on Twitch. You get a pretty red today, Twitch. Hey back, my dude. Holding it down in Dune and Star Citizen. How's Dune been treating you lately, man? I appreciate you, dude. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the warm welcome back. We are so happy to be back. Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm good. Just too much hype. It's just all the hype. Be Cool. Is Be Cool Baltzin? I don't... Oh, okay. I was wondering. I was like, same picture. What is that? What's wrong with that? Why is it doing that? Don't forget to vote for the raft in the showdown. Give it up for Zero. One of his designs made into the official post of CIG for the ship showdown. Nice! All right. Meteor giveaway is ending in 20 minutes. And Mrs. Tomato said that... Ew, whoa! Wait a second. Did I miss Baltzin? Baltzin up in here, Mr. Be fucking cool, dude. I'm gonna call you Be Cool today. You're gonna be Mr. Be Cool today, okay? But we know who you are. You're here in spirit. I mean, technically you're here physically, but also in spirit. Guys, y'all, awesome. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Vote your ships. Okay, so did we started, is that where we're starting out today? With the good old ship showdown? Did they actually move forward with this now? Are we doing real ship showdown stuff? The actual ladder? If we meet the goals, Mrs. Tomato said we're starting a new giveaway today. I'm pretty sure we just meet the goals. Just met them. I'm actually realizing I don't have... Yeah, so this is... We don't have our proper overlay here, so I can't actually see what the goals are, but I'm pretty sure we just met the goals. EK hit us with 15 over on Twitch. Yeah, it's not on this computer, so we won't be able to see it. Oh, somebody else gifted out 10 subs on the hype freaking... Somebody's hyped on Twitch. Let's get a freaking giveaway going. Let's go. Let's go. What are we giving away? A wolf? Yeah? Yeah, the one with the... That's a penis. Yeah. All right, y'all. Hey, shout out to everybody who just got us to the goals for the day. You guys are amazing. We are going to start a giveaway for a Kruger Wolf. I think with a copy of the game, courtesy CIG. Shout out to Mrs. T for starting that one up. Actually, shout out to Pat for being so supportive. Anon. Not the Q type, though. Thank you, guys. It is displaying our account name and not our actual name. Huh. Shame. Oh, yeah, it says The Nerfly. The Nerfly. My man, The Nerfly. Dude, you know what else I'm excited about? To have some more time here and be able to do stuff here? The org. Oh my god. So many things that we've been trying to do with the org, and not been the most friendly time-wise getting to that. But thank you for your patience, GII. We got good plans. We got things coming up. We got things going on. Hello, lovely people. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Tomato. Thank you for your hard but awesome work as always. Hope your flight was a breeze, and thank you for being back. Our flight! Folks, I want to talk about our trip back before we get into things, if you don't mind. A little bit of story time. So, oh god, are we not even getting alerts on the stream? Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. None of the stuff that's supposed to be for the stream is on here because this is not the streaming PC. This is my work PC. I normally don't have to stream. Hold on. Here is the streaming PC. In order to try and make this work a little bit better, I was trying to get a different CPU side of here. Wait a second. This is pretty much done. Yeah, so I just needed to get a another power cord for the CPU up here, because I upgraded the CPU. So what we did was we basically robbed everything that we had in Turkey and brought it back. So I brought back all of the parts from those computers to be back here. Yeah, the top is dented. It's a really old case. It's my oldest PC case that I own, and I need to get a new one. But that's besides the point. We robbed all of our parts from back in Turkey and brought them back here. One of those parts was a better CPU than what I had in my streaming PC over here. So I replaced it, but it takes a little bit more power. And so I need another CPU power cord, which we're waiting still patiently to come overnight shipping. So I wasn't able to set up my streaming PC today, unfortunately. But, biggity but, the donk. I don't really have a but. That's it. That's all. Get into that RSI Meteor giveaway, folks. Yeah, closed the turkey office, you could say. Liquid Skies. The trip back here was something else. Let me tell you. We didn't have tons of problems at customs, which was very nice. But the whole preparation was wild. We had to pack up most of our house. I think if you guys are on the Discord, you probably saw some of the pictures I posted. It was not easy. It was very hard, especially for Mrs. Tomato. Basically, we just locked everything up that we had over there, and we don't know when we're going back, and we're gonna eventually get back over there and sell that stuff or move it to another place at some point. But we kind of just completely left that house behind. I unfortunately made the terrible choice of not choice, mistake of forgetting both my earphones and my earbuds. So I don't know when those are gonna get back. And now I gotta just listen to people grunting and breathing when I go to the gym, I guess. But we got everything packed up and we threw it all in our car. Now, many of you remember, we actually had our niece with us. And we were supposed to have her with us until we were leaving. So we had left a bag with our niece's mom in Istanbul because we wouldn't be able to fit all those bags plus our niece in the back and then drive to the airport. Weirdly, we didn't end up getting to keep our niece. She got taken away outside of really anybody understanding why. Long story. But we drove all the way back to Istanbul, went into the city, replaced the bag, drove to the airport, or drove to the hotel, rearranged all of our stuff so that we could actually pack some of it in the bag. We had to leave behind some things because the bags were getting too heavy. But you know what? Who needs sweatpants, right? Make it to the airport, get on the plane. Not a big deal. Everything's going pretty smoothly. We got a person next to us. It was a A350 Airbus, so you know it's like 9 people across. Nice and crowded, real good, breathing a lot of great air. And the flight wasn't too bad until we were like towards the end of the flight when a kid, maybe like 3-4 years old, a couple rows back from us, decided he really wanted something. I don't know what. I don't think anybody really knows what in the whole plane. But he made sure we all knew. He was screaming his head off. To the point where they had to circle the airport a couple times so that the airport didn't also get ear damage. No, they didn't have to do that. We landed. But we get down on the plane and we endure the screaming for probably like a 30-40 minutes. Get off of the plane. And everybody goes to like the customs, you know, you make the walk when to the customs, passports, all that kind of stuff. And we were standing in that line for like another 20 minutes. And then after that, because you know they are the way they are, Mrs. Tomato goes to secondary inspection. I go to get our bags from the baggage claim. And when we are finally finishing with our bags and the secondary inspection, this has been probably an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes since that screaming started. Still, you can hear the kid saying, "I want that one." And everybody around is like, "What does he want? Parents, please pay attention to your kid. What does he want? Just give it to him. Please bless us all." Rather have snakes on a plane than babies on a plane. The thing is, like, a lot of kids do pretty good on planes. I think I'm genuinely impressed by the way a lot of kids handle themselves. Like, there was a kid, I guess he wasn't that young, but he was sitting next to us and he was very satisfied with just watching movies, which I was down for, because I'm the kind of person who like watches other people's movies on the plane. You can get multiple satisfactory lines of entertainment, and like when something boring is happening on one screen, you just watch the other one. I watched Iron Man, I watched Avengers, I watched whatever the animated movie is with the guy who's made of water and the girl who's made of fire. Looked like maybe a Pixar movie, possibly. I watched, a couple other things. All of those not on my own screen. It was nice. No better advertisement for birth control than watching the result of bad parenting in action. Or no better advertisement for good education. Let's hear it for education, folks. Yeah! Love those people. Woo! You know what I'm realizing? Can you guys hear that? Yeah, okay, you can hear that. You just watch dog fights? Oh, you just raw dog flights. You just sit there on the flight and don't do anything? Bro. Brother, what? Hold on, I got something for this. Why? That's terrible, man. I tried to do that to some point, but I can't. I actually got I listened to the Astro Historian's new lore video like 3 times on this flight. So I'll do that. I'll pop in some earphones and then I'll just like sit there and listen to things and imagine being somewhere else. But it's 13 hours, dude. 13 hours. Luckily, there wasn't screaming the whole 13 hours. But anyways, we get away from the airport. we get our ride back here to the house. It's about a 2-hour drive or so. San Francisco traffic can get you a little bit. And we get to the house. We got all our 7 bags. We're outside. We're pumped. We've been waiting for this moment. I kid you not, guys, for like at least the last 2 months. We have not been, like, over the last week or two, we've been pretty open about our feelings about all this, but it was not a fun 2 months. And so it was just a really, really nice therapeutic feeling getting back to this place and realizing that we can finally set back in. And then we got locked out. And oh my God, that was the longest 30 minutes of my life. Basically, our front door has a keypad that you plug in the numbers and it unlocks the door, right? Okay, great, cool, that works. Also, generally, you want to have a key. And that was with my dad, who was 50 miles away in his own home, obviously, because he thought we would have had our own key or the front door would have opened, because he's been coming by and checking the house and he's never had a problem. But for some reason, this thing died in between the last time he checked and the time we got there. So we're standing outside, got all our bags. It's nice and hot. It's real good California Valley heat. And we're like looking through the window like, oh my God, it's right here. Please, Lord, let me lay in that bed. But no dice. So we had to wait probably another 40 to 60, and then the cops show up. I was kind of thinking about that. I'm like going around the house, checking the different doors and windows. I'm like, there's got to be another way in here. It'd be crazy if there was. I would hope I didn't leave something open for that long. But alas, nothing worked. And I'm thinking in my head, are the neighbors calling the cops on us right now? Yes, excuse me. Oh, hold on. Be on the, There we go.
Yeah, hi. Excuse me, police. There seems to be a black man next door trying to open the windows and doors. He may or may not live there, but I haven't seen him in a couple months, so I'd send over a couple troopers. Thank you.
It's what I was waiting for. But no, we called the locksmith. He came and picked a couple doors for us, and that made me wonder, should I get some cameras here now? A black guy with 8 suitcases. Yeah, he's got 8 suitcases and a woman in tow. Should we be concerned? But yeah, eventually we got in. It only cost an extra locksmith. I'm not going to tell you how much a locksmith costs, because honestly, it's a little embarrassing. But good for you if you work as a locksmith. You can make some bank. So yeah, it was a trip home, guys. But since we've been here, the mood, the feels, the mental health in general, just the appreciation of things has gone up drastically, and we're just feeling good to be here. So thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you, Toes Gang, for already toesing. And let's take a look at everything that I missed since I've been gone, because some stuff happened. It's how it always is. You step away for like 2 days, and CIG's like, we're gonna release everything. All right, cool, guys. So yeah, that's my story. You've had to break into your own house and a couple of friends' houses a few times. We've broken into our house a couple times in Turkey. Yeah, that was actually wildly too easy to do. It's always worrying when you can break into your own house and you're like, wait a second, that was easy. I need to fix that. Sweet home, home sweet home, baby. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, even just having the Halo posters here, it's so warming. Oh, Turkey can be an amazing place. Yeah, we love Turkey, don't get me wrong. It's not Turkey that we are running away from, okay? Turkey's a big favorite of mine. The food, we were eating our favorite meals the couple nights before we were leaving, and it was just like, oh my God. Cheers for air conditioning. Yes. We have central air conditioning again. Woo! But honestly, for those of you who are out here in Northern California, I'm sure you can confirm it's pretty mild. It's like not hot. And yes, I am kind of trying to tempt fate there because I want to use the pool. I want to go in the pool. I want to go swimming. It's not hot enough to swim right now. Waffle. Good morning, my man. Mr. Nix 25. I'm holding you to that. Master Chief has your back. Hey, and my shoulder. Hey. Welcome back from that other place on the other side of the planet. Jaybird, good to be back, buddy. Good to be back. You had to climb through a window over a balcony on a roof and then break into your landlord's apartment through the roof terrace windows. Oh boy. Yikes. Next time he gets to pay the locksmith. Yeah, dude. You might want to just go with the locksmith there. I wouldn't dare do that one. No, not in this economy. Moshfratu. Good to be back, buddy. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see ya. Apologies for anybody who I'm missing alerts on. Maverick, thank you for the bits. I see you guys have been following a little bit. My name is Luana, North 11. Thank you both. Appreciate you. I am possibly missing some alerts just because I'm not getting any sound. I promise. On Wednesday, we are going to be completely back to a normal stream. And whenever I can get ahead a little bit on videos, we're going to have some new overlays on the stream too. Wander, 2% space worthy. Congratulations. It's kind of low. We're gonna have to work on that. We'll get there. We'll get there. Come to the Midwest. How you doing, Death Factor? That's very far. I'll let you know next time we're in the neighborhood, though. Baldson, dude, thank you so much for dropping in. Thank you for blessing this stream with the Toes Gang. Glad to see that it actually showed your name. What's up, Reese? Cooking stream on Wednesday too? I don't know. Might try to be set up for that. Not sure just yet though. What a wonderful conversation about breaking into homes today. Dude, yeah, it was good times, you know. What are you gonna do? Star Citizen is clearly just not providing the entertainment. Gotta commit some petty theft. Or grand theft. Yes, Mrs. Tomato is saying yes to the cooking stream. Back to the good old cooking streams. Okay. Essential Azza, welcome in. Sorry, so excited to be back home. Folks, it's so nice. Mrs. Tomato has so much more joy about her. It's very nice. We got some space, you know? Woo-wee! We got space, and therefore it is space time. Man, I'm getting thrown off. Normally it's this stream deck that I use to switch scenes. I just press buttons on here. But because I don't have my streaming PC, I have to use this stream deck, which is on the other side of me. So I'm getting extremely confused as to how to switch scenes for you guys. But we got stuff to talk about. So, like I said, I have been gone for a little bit. And in that time, 4.3 came out. We're going to be talking about that for sure. What's going on with 4.3? What does it include? We've got an FAQ about the new locations that I'm going to tie in there, and we'll talk a little bit about what these new locations mean for the game. The Wolf. This ship we're actually going to start a giveaway for today because we met our goals. You lovely, lovely people. You YouTube and Twitch lovelies. So we'll be talking a little bit about this ship, what it is including, and why they have released it again. And then finally, actually I say finally, I kind of want to start with this. The Roadmap Roundup, we're going to start with that. Yeah, we're going to start with that. Roadmap Roundup came out last week, and I have not gotten to really look at it yet. Like I said, all the news came out over the course of 3 days, and I did not get to see a lot of it. I was just it was a cascade. I was too busy dealing with drama, you know, going and creating drama on our Discord server and getting in people's heads and saying all this stuff. The game's dying. Combat everywhere. New spaceships. I don't know what causes drama. Johnny Macaroni, welcome in, dude. Let's talk about how these new dark territories has turned into PvP zones. Been attacked 4 times out of 10. Ka-chow, dude. Everything's PvP. It's all PvP all the way down. Go vote for the ship showdown. The Cali Bay Area, it's been cooler than usual. Almost no 100. Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it the coolest summer in like a long time for San Francisco? Why is the camera flipped? The camera should not be flipped. There we go. Camera should not have been flipped. Go MPUV. Okay, let's start with that. Let's start with the ship showdown. Clearly, things are going on with that. Why didn't they put out a post? Okay, now they just don't want to load it for me. How about we go to the dev tracker? I'm sure there's something about it there. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. This is a more recognizable screen, right? You guys get this one? Do devs ever answer questions here? I don't think, actually, now that I think of it, I do not believe my question ever got answered. Wah. I didn't really expect it to. It's probably way gone now. Yeah, it's so gone. Dang, this forum gets so many posts. I don't even think I'm on the second page anymore. Third page? Nope. There it is. 13 days ago. Mr. Space Tomato, we got 2 replies. Not from any devs. So yeah, I didn't think we were going to get an answer on this, but I do hope that something happens in terms of building interiors and how they relate to underground facilities. We may never know. Made a post like 2 hours ago for it. Let's see. Ship Showdown, Phase 2. All right, y'all. So, for those of you who are joining us from the video, welcome. We are back in California. But also, this is going to be a little bit of a different... I'm not streaming from my streaming PC. I'm still working on getting that set up. So, because I don't have my overlays and my plugins and all that stuff, you're going to see this video a little bit more strange than our normal videos. That doesn't change the fact, though, that we've got some stuff to go over. The Ship Showdown Phase 2 has begun. This is the good part, right? This is the actual interesting part of Star Citizen, or the Ship Showdown. Top 16. They've got the ladders up. They have taken in their art. They've gotten all of the cool bits of promo for each of the things. I believe this is from one of our members, Zero. Put together some art supporting the tack. Looks pretty nice. Gives me some Dune vibes. And they have laid out the schedule for Phase 2. So every day, this is going to be updated. And basically, it's on you guys, the good old folks of Star Citizen, to vote on whichever ship you think is best in each lineup. So the first one is today, the Argo Raft against the Anvil Asgard. These are the freighters. Second up is going to be ground vehicles, Medivac versus MTC. Third is going to be the Speedsters, the Origin M50 versus the Mirai Razor. It's still weird hearing that called the Mirai. Fourth, on the 21st, is the Underdog Division, the Anvil Gladiator against the Origin 85X. Guys, come on, give the 85X a better chance than that. What? What is Underdogs? Just forgotten ships. These are just the ships CIG doesn't pay attention to. And I'm not gonna lie, those are 2 good selections from them. The 22nd's Pathfinders, exploration vehicles. The Zeus, the Zeus ES, and the Drake Corsair. Of all of the exploration vehicles they could have chose, they put the Corsair. Because we're all exploring other people's cargo bays, right? That's what the Corsair is there for. I mean, it's an exploration vehicle, right? It was sold as one, but that's just kind of funny. Obviously, it comes down to what got the most like support throughout the first phase. It's just funny to see the Corsair there. All right, on the 23rd is heavy duty division. So industrials, Drake Vulture versus Argo Mole. All right, okay. They probably, I mean, honestly, it's kind of funny. They could have put the raft there. I guess raft is whatever. Transport, industrial. Alien division on the 24th. The Asperia Prowler Utility versus the Asperia Talon, because Asperia is really the only folks interested in that stuff. And then finally, the Run Gun division. Combat. I feel like run is not contextually correct here, but we'll go with it. The RSI Polaris, probably the winner of this whole thing, versus the Starlancer TAC. That's a good lineup. That's a good matchup, but I don't think the TAC's really got it in it to beat the Polaris, unfortunately. So that is the different phases of this ladder, the top 16, and that will be occurring over the next, what, 7 days? Wow, that's fast. Phase 2 is fast. And from there, let's see. They're going to give you basically rewards for anybody who gets really far in, I think it's the top 5 usually. They say keep in mind that the final four competitors will each receive an exclusive Best in Show paint and an in-game manufacturer themed poster. And the overall winner will be honored with an in-game championship pennant commemorating their 29-55 win. Don't forget, if you're able to guess every head-to-head matchup correctly and vote flawlessly in Phase 2, you'll walk away with a Nostradamus Spectrum badge, because you saw it coming all along. Look at that. That's so exciting. Let me put it on my armor in the game, at least. I would love to look like Nostradamus in the game. As we mentioned in our Ship Showdown Phase 1, once the Elite 8 contenders are chosen, a limited number of Idris will be made available. Please note that a select group of the most active players across multiple criteria over the last several months will have priority access to the first 12 waves. Additional players will have access to 12 subsequent waves during the remainder of the head-to-head matchups. This approach aims to ensure a fairer distribution of these limited ships. Only a small batch of ships will be offered in each wave, so not everyone who wants one may be able to secure an Idris during the event. However, there will be other chances to obtain this and other limited ships, such as later this year at IAE. Wait. Hold on. Is this about a sale? Wait. This last, okay. As mentioned in our Phase 1 update, I don't think I ever saw that part of the Phase 1 update. It's probably set it around here somewhere. So I know that they're gonna do like a free fly, right? The Elite 8 will be free to test fly starting August 26th. Right. Are they talking about selling other stuff? What is this about? Once the Elite 8 and contenders are chosen. Okay, so this is once the free fly goes live, a limited number of Idris will be made available. They don't even make it clear that they mean for sale. I genuinely thought they meant the Idris was going to be made available just like for people to fly. But they're actually just saying that the most active people over the last several months will get access to buy it? Additional players will have access to 12 subsequent waves during the remainder of the head-to-head matchups. So 24 waves of ship sales for the Idris. Okay, well at this point, let's drop engineering. Yes, right after I finish filming this. We should drop the engineering gameplay right next to all these Idrises that are about to go out. Because as I'm seeing in chat, yeah, more solo Idris. What better blessing is there in life than showing up to a bunker and there's 5 Idrises floating in the air around it? Well, the Ship Showdown Phase 2 has begun. it's gonna be, you know, it's a fun time. We get to fly ships for free. Everybody gets to talk about which ship is the best, as long as the one that you like is on this list somewhere. And everybody else, like myself, kind of just moseys around while this is happening. I personally don't pay much attention to this ship showdown. It's cool. Ships are fun. I like to cover them, but yeah, I don't think it's the most exciting part of the game. I would prefer a feature showdown. Imagine if we got to see this happen, but instead of ships, it was features. It's like Maelstrom against engineering and Planet Tech V5 against hacking gameplay. And then the top 4 features that win get implemented by the end of the year. Yay!
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
Yeah, that would never happen. So, that's a ship showdown. I'll see you guys at the end of phase 2. We will see who's won. And with that, we have a giveaway. We got a giveaway to announce. RSI Meteor. Is it already over? Did it already end? It already ended. Guys, thank you everybody if you did get involved in the RSI Meteor, and a big thank you to everyone who spawned that giveaway. I believe this was not the one that Zayat spawned. This was the next one. Yeah. Yes, yes. So thank you to everybody who has supported the channel and supported the stream. That's what makes these giveaways happen. Drum roll. I don't... Who's the winner?
Haglamia.
Haglamia. Really? Nice. Do you have that on the screen? Can I show for proof? So they can... We're gonna dox them? Oh yeah, you can announce it on the thing. Do the stuff with the thing to the stuff. Congratulations, Paglamia. I think I saw Pagla in the chat today, possibly, maybe. Congratulations, yo. Your boy Pags, or your ma'am Pags, whoever, your boy or girl Pags. Thank you. Loyalty bonus? Oh, from getting into other giveaways. Right. If you have joined a giveaway, that actually helps you get inputs into other giveaways later. So if you got into the RSI Meteor giveaway, you will automatically get a loyalty bonus getting into the Wolf, the Kruger Wolf giveaway.
Already set up and go.
It's already gone?
Yes, exclamation point giveaway. Join.
And is the Twitch redeemable thing, is that using it? Awesome. Next giveaway has begun. Man, that's timely. Thank you. And thank you guys. Thank you. Seriously. That's it's not a God. Nobody asks for that. Jay the bartender, thank you so much for the sub, my man. Hello, hello, good morning. Are you back in the US? We are. We are back. He's back. Thank you so much, dude, for hopping in with that sub. Subbed for 3 months now. And thank you, Elise, for following on the channel. Yeah, folks, we are back. And it feels good. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. Anybody know that reference? Somebody knows that reference. I know somebody in chat knows that reference. What you're talking about, that is a give. What is a give? Good life has been busy as your kids are approaching high school. Whoa. Best of luck to you, friend. I hope that goes well. Hey, there you go. There you go. Jim Carrey, Bruce Almighty. That's right. We are a cultured bunch. We are a good group of people. I'm so proud of you guys. All right, Ship Showdown. That is that. Roadmap Roundup is next. Whew. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. One of my favorite parts of the month. The teens age, good luck with them. Right, yeah. We're raising my niece, and the plan is for her to come over here for her high school. And so I've already been like talking about all the different things I'm gonna have to be thinking about and considering, and she's gonna find us annoying, but maybe she'll kind of find us cool, and we gotta find video games that she likes, and maybe she'll, possibly talk to us about them. How is everybody's life going though? How is everyone's week? I'm sorry, you're gonna notice me and Mrs. Tomato are just kind of filled with joy right now. And so, yeah, that's, I'm interested in hearing about you guys. What's going on with your life? What's the business? Oh, a given. Oh, I don't have to deal with the teen yet. We got 7 years before that happens. Big thankses. Be happy. Hey, being happy is a nice time, dude. It's good to be happy. Love a little joy. Get a little joy in your heart. Yeah. Get a little joy in your heart. Oh, say it with me now. A little joy in your heart. That's a song, right? There's a song like that. North 11, thanks for the Prime sub, dude. Yay. Thanks, buddy. Little hand clap for ants. Gladiator is in the shot for the BIS again this year. There is no hope that it will finally get paints. Oh, there is hope. There is hope. It would be funny if it actually beat out everything else. I kind of want to see paints for the 85X too, though. Can we somehow cheat the system and get them both up to the top 4? You're in a constant boss fight at work? Does that mean you're the boss fighting, or you're fighting with your boss? Mooser, you got a new job. Nice, I hope it's fun. Hope you're enjoying it. You've been up since 3:45, just got off work. You work the night shifts? Hungry, sleepy? Nerfly, ASD is super fun, you enjoying it? That's good to hear, man. I went on briefly to find some feedback on it on Spectrum, and I mean, I found the feedback you would expect. I don't know what I was expecting. But we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it and hopefully give people a little bit more context as to why these locations have come into the game the way they have. Star Future, thank you for the welcome back. Good to see you. Freaking fantastic. Absolutely grand to see you. If I do say so myself. Why would you want to inflict purple yuck on a ship like that? Dude, I just want to see something new for the 85X, man. The more people know about the 85X, the more possible it is that we get a nice little taxi ship that people love. Full remote, so you gotta be at home, Mooser. Full remote. That's nice. You know, they're gonna make the skins as cheap and plastic looking purple as they can. Are they always purple? I feel like a lot of the events in Star Citizen have purple. IAE oftentimes seems to have purple. Maybe I'm only remembering one year that was purple. It's still night when you go to work, so you guess. Not strictly the night shift, but it is technically at nighttime kind of thing. Lost your job and is lost in how to move forward, trying to get your previous employer to hand over paperwork they are legally required to do so you can turn it in and get unemployment benefits. They better freaking give paper, dude. That's a bunch of crap. Is it a place where you can go in physically and ask them in person? Is there any skins for the 85X? Not that I know of. Early morning shift. Okay, I see, I get you. So it's that early morning. We call that the enthusiastic breakfast shift. One year it was red, another it was blue. Okay, so not always purple, maybe. Good for them. Good to hear. Well, folks, let's talk about the roadmap roundup. I am late to this one, certified late, but late doesn't mean boring. It can, possibly, but my aim is to not make it so in this video. Let's look at what happened with the roadmap recently, and maybe we could talk a little bit more about it than the casual reading of the sentences. So 4.3 all cards have been committed. That includes Sniper Light Armor, Wicklow Light Combat Stealth Suit, ASD light combat stealth suit, new hairstyles, dynamic snow, ladder improvements, Onyx facilities, Wicklow special ships, Volt sniper rifle. The ladder improvements are great. That's great news. I'm glad that they did not have to kick that can down the street again, because ladder improvements were something that we heard about back in CitizenCon 2023. That was, I want to say, the first person experience, life in the first person. Somewhere around these parts, around these dang parts. There we go.
From the horizontal to the vertical. So with ladders, we put in some new subtle and significant improvements. So we got midpoint markups that lets you enter the...
So I hope the audio is not as bad for you as it is for me. I'm going to assume it's not. But they were introducing these ladder improvements alongside some other things throughout this video, including radiation, sliding, new weapon designs, new sound effects, the dynamic crosshair. A lot of stuff that has been included in the game since then, but also a lot of stuff that hasn't.
The
And this is
ladder
one
is
of those
anywhere.
holdovers.
We're going to let you look around so you can do 360s. We're going to let you lean on the ladder.
As you can see, people are very excited about ladders. It is a really, really useful change, because being on a ladder and being locked in place to not be able to look in any direction is really stupid. So I'm glad that we're seeing that actually come in with 4.3. Still can't fire from the ladder, but it's a step better. So it's not everything that we actually were supposed to get with ladder improvements, is what you're telling me. I'm gonna feign surprise. I need to get a soundbite of people gasping on here. Features in increments? Say it ain't so. The other addition that came with 4.3 was the Wolf. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here. We've got the whole Q&A posted up, and we're going to go through like the page, because that's yet another thing that happened while I was gone. And it's a cool looking ship with just a couple of interesting choices. But again, we'll get to that. Moving on though, now we're getting to some interesting bits. 4.3.1 has received its addition to the roadmap view, so we can see those here. They're going to go into that same column, but obviously that doesn't mean that they're coming at the same time. First up is NPC dropships, introducing dropships in Pyro, defending outposts and deploying reinforcements when the local population is attacked. What about the ones in Stanton? You guys remember those? Remember those dropships that we got for maybe like a month in the Stanton system? Yeah, I bet we could find that actually in Inside Star Citizen, because those were dropped along with our derelict outposts, which I believe is 3.22. The distinctive dive into derelicts. Dive. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm has a really good memory. Is there like some lore behind why Pepperidge Farm remembers so many things? Yeah, so this is like, man, what the heck? Why can't I play the video? Well, this was like a whole update of basically them putting in derelict outposts and dropping NPCs in those areas with derelict outposts. It doesn't look like they were even advertising really that they were bringing in the dropships for that. It might be something that we can see on the roadmap. Dang it. No, it doesn't look like it. Ship trespass, no. Arena commander stuff, no. Nope. New mission salvage contracts, nope. Yes, so they didn't even have them on the list of additions that they were making in the update that they put them in. So, you know, one could say, oh, they were testing them. It was just figure out how it might work. But we don't know because it wasn't really talked about, you know? That's kind of just how it goes. Might get talked about, might not. What it says here is they're introducing dropships to Pyro, defending outposts, deploying reinforcements. Same thing we just read. Now, I think the main reason they're probably doing this in Pyro instead of just Stanton is because Pyro as outposts do have a setup that supports this kind of thing better. The idea being that the outposts in Pyro have engineering systems, they have the power supplies. It's not just going to be a ship thing, it is also an outpost thing. So you can then go into that location and you can turn the power off. You can literally disable NPCs' abilities to call in the dropships. So it creates a little bit more of a multifaceted approach to the locations in that you could sneak in, disable their ability to call in reinforcements, and then call in your big baddies to come and do more damage. That might not be that great in this first version, but we can see how that would scale up over time. If you, say, wanted to sneak in and disable the ground-to-air turrets or stuff like that so that your people could actually come and fly and land in the location. This is probably just the first chance for them to actually test that in Pyro with a system that's actually scalable and relies on the engineering system that they want to have most of the game rely on. So it's likely a more serious addition than what we saw in Stanton. Honestly, I can't say it's going to work better or it's going to work longer. YouTube is unavailable right now. Oh, I see what you mean. I don't know if it's going to actually work more substantially over time, or if this is something that they're just going to put in and then it breaks and we don't get to use it for years on end. Who knows? It's a little bit unpredictable with CIG, but bringing back in dropships for reinforcements will be a nice bit of immersion and maybe a chance to complicate our encounters with our folks a little bit more. Next up on the list is the heavy utility armor. Have no idea. Maybe they have this in here. Let's see. They do not have a picture of it here, but the chances are that we could go to the Dress to Kill panel from last year. Scroll through here real quick. So this is the heavy hunter armor, heavy combat armor, racing flight suit, combat pilot flight suit, civilian clothing, light stealth. That's the one we just got. Yeah, so they don't have the heavy utility on here. I think this was the medium utility that we got as a reward. Yeah, so we might not actually have a picture or a shot of the heavy utility armor. Wonder what heavy utility armor will include though. Because if we're looking at the way that they're launching armors now, there are a couple stats that they're relying on. Protection, mobility, stealth, active scan, G-force, and EVA mobility. I'm guessing that heavy utility armor will have... Medium utility isn't in yet. Okay, maybe that was the light utility? Or is that just something else completely? I'm guessing heavy utility will have EVA mobility, but what is utility armor going to do for you? Do it give you an extra slot to carry fuses? Batteries? We don't really know yet. So this must be light utility armor, maybe? Is that something we've seen come in? Yeah, this is the medium utility armor. The Strata stuff. That one. Unless there is another medium utility armor. Is that what you're talking about? Hoping a boost or maybe special UI and HUD elements. It would be, whatever it is, it would be nice to, you know, get some level of understanding of what utility armor is going to do for us over wearing a combat suit or an exploration suit to do the same thing. Medium utility armor that we currently have is the Grey Cat, and the armor we got with this recent event, they have larger inventory for chest, legs, and backpacks. Okay, so right now it's just larger inventories. Hey, that would actually be cool if they had magnetic shoes for walking around the outsides of ships. I definitely think there should be some kind of special storage for batteries or fuses or something. All it does for now is look bulky, clunky, and ugly. Dude, but look at how it makes your chest look, man. Like you've been lifting. Maybe a little droopy, but you've been lifting. Next up on the list is AI FPS turrets. This one quietly slipped from 4.3 to 4.3.1. Not sure if this is because of whatever it was that they were supposed to be doing at the cooperative zones, but these I kind of expected to be in the new underground facilities. That's what I thought they were meant for. And it was just part of like the puzzles. Who knows? Maybe this is something that didn't make it in. Maybe this is something that's going to be elsewhere in the game as well. But the card remains unchanged, adding anti-personnel turrets for players to avoid or destroy, providing additional PvE challenges. That really just sounded like it fit in with the Onyx facilities and what they wanted to do there. So we'll see if that's the only place they're going. I do think that these are the kinds of turrets they need to start putting into outposts. They need to put these outside of landing pads. They've got to put these at cities, everywhere. Just start getting turrets everywhere. Like, people who are a danger to the people around them should be scared to be that way, right? It should be a risk to act like that. Nobody wants that around them. Go do that elsewhere in Pyro or something. Northern Tech Hermit, thank you so much for gifting out the sub. Gifting a sub over to Mrs. T. Appreciate you. Mrs. T, you ran out of sub again? She's not a supporter. She doesn't support. Brigadier, my man Brig, holding it down. Hope you are doing okay, getting ready for the school, getting ready to go back to the teaching, my man. Thank you for dropping by the stream. Appreciate your support, appreciate your events, appreciate your good company, my dude. Thanks for dropping in. And the Nerfly. Nerf, didn't you freaking already get on Toast Gang today? Out here getting us ever closer to getting our Idris in those 12 waves of in the 12 waves of Idris sales. 24? 12. 24 waves. Sorry, not 12. Crazy. You just pulled a medium utility Ambrose helmet off a NPC in the ASD Onyx facility this morning, yet the roadmap says it's postponed. It does, doesn't it? Medium utility armor, Ambrose. Yeah, I'm not really sure how that works. What was the... So this is Strata armor. What's Ambrose look like? Star Citizen Ambrose armor. Found this helmet, Ambrose. It looks like the Ambrose helmet has been in the game for a while. So it might just be the rest of the armor. Yeah, this is the Strata armor. So this is the Ambrose helmet. Yeah, so I guess they're just going to bring in the rest of the armor now. Is the way it goes. And we will just continue to wonder, what does utility armor mean? Just a way of you to outwardly tell everybody that you're a utility person? First day of classes today. How's it going so far, dude? How are things going along, Brig? Dang, school's already starting again. I am so lost in time. All right, AI FPS helmets, guys. We're going to have some big talks about this in the near future, because I think this is a really important part of this game. And it's even, you know, combine this, AI FPS turrets, NPC dropships, and also the security coming back around space stations. My pure copium take would be that we are slowly moving towards a more secure star system. And honestly, it feels a little fucking crazy to say that, because I just don't think that we are, but they're really curious additions, and I really want to hope. Oh, I just know it's too much. You don't do that, you know? Just bless yourself. Protect yourself. All right, next edition mission pickups on location. This clearly did not make it into 4.3. This is enabling new missions to be discovered and added to journals when you approach or enter a designated area. This card has been postponed to a later date. Now, click in here. We can see that it's literally... Wait a second. Hold on. Wait, why is it Why is this under the 4.3.1? Okay, Ambrose armor. Is that even on here? Okay, Ambrose armor is not on here, so that's just completely been removed. AI FPS turrets, also not on here, completely removed. Mission pickup on location, completely removed. New hairstyles. Hey! Hey! There you go. Getting what counts. That's disappointing. So these three seem to just be completely gone. How about heavy utility armor? That's still on there. But these other three are just gone from the roadmap. Maybe they'll come back in for 4.3.1. I think it's a little bit weird that they're underneath the 431 section and they're not listed in there. So maybe they will slide back in. But these two are, in my opinion, pretty important. And I'm guessing the mission pickup on location edition is something that was going to play out in the Onyx facilities if they were actually instanced, which they are not. Last up is the Volt LMG Fresnel. I learned from a very helpful Redditor that the S is silent in Fresnel. I've been doing that wrong this whole time. Introducing Volt's Heavy Hitter, a machine gun that ramps up the punishment as it heats up, creating rate of fire for raw stopping power. As it nears a peak overheat, it unleashes searing energy blasts capable of tearing through hostile forces with terrifying efficiency, featuring a hefty reload time but with a high capacity magazine. Sounds like a fun time. I'll be interested in seeing how this one fights or fires. For those of you who have been around here far too long, you're well aware that we have been following the succession of Volt weapons. We got the SMG, we got the sniper. We are now looking at the Fresnel, which is an LMG. I think it looks pretty good. Looks pretty cool. It's got big magazine. You know what they say about guns with big magazines. Most interesting part, though, is I believe the Fresnel was originally on here as an SMG. Yeah. Designing and creating the verified off-world laser technologies Fresnel SMG. And this is what kind of confused me, because we had the Quartz SMG, and we knew that was coming in. The Pulse was obviously the pistol, the Parallax was the rifle. What we didn't have on here was the Prism shotgun. But we knew that the Fresnel was going to be coming at some point, and it kind of sounded like it was going to be another SMG just based off of this, but now we are seeing it is the new LMG, and it looks pretty good. We'll see how it works. What comes after this, you ask? Well, somebody already in chat has highlighted it. Shadowed Fox. They are not going to stop here with weapons. If you want to see what else they have planned, just go back to Inside Star Citizen about a year ago now, where they had a whole interview with all of the FPS folks. And these folks have been working on Squadron stuff for years. You can see it in the roadmap and how it's played out. You can see it when they talk about the stuff themselves. You can see it even from the models that they're showing off in this video. You'll find them in Squadron 42 trailers from throughout the years, but they never made it to Star Citizen. So now they finally are starting to make it. Oh, here's another one we're waiting for. Right here. This is the Preacher Armament Taser. This is a non-lethal method of takedown, and it'll probably be introduced whenever they get around to updating bounty hunting gameplay, whenever that might be. Why do people keep mentioning instancing with the Onyx facilities? There was never any point that CIG said it would be instanced. That was all backer speculation. I'm not saying that CIG said it. It is my speculation. Moving forward in here, though, we can see a couple other weapons they've been working on. There's obviously a lot of concept work going on that may or may not make it into the game. I wouldn't say everything here is guaranteed to be in the game. A lot of stuff that they have to cut out. But this, for instance, is the Pyro AK, the Space AK, whatever you want to call it. And this is something that we also see in Squadron 42 trailers that is still not in Star Citizen. That's one that we have coming. And I believe they actually show that one firing here at some point. Some more kind of scav looking music is loud. Thank you. There's some more like scav looking knives kind of stuff. the sort of thing that you probably don't want to get cut with because you'll end up dying from an infection rather than bleeding. Here is that Space AK. A little quick scene of it firing off. So like they've literally got it modeled and working in the environments that we're in. They just haven't released it into the game yet. What else is there? Got the P8 AR that already came in. And then there's all the Volt weapons. This was before we had them in game, obviously. It was a nice little preview to see these guns. But then there's this. The crossbow. This is also probably going to be a stealth weapon. Don't know if they're going to have it be non-lethal, but it's definitely going to be quiet and focused on, well, shooting arrows. You know, what else is it going to shoot? I hope that we have alternative ammo for it. Exploding arrows, tracking. Imagine shooting a tracking arrow into a ship. Oh, God, that would actually be really cool. That would be sick. Little transponder, so you can track somebody across the verse. So yeah, there's a few more things for them to deliver. Obviously, the weapons content team isn't just going to stop there. But for now, the next gun we're looking at is the Fresnel. You're talking with one of the weapons guys at SitCon, and they said the crossbow is complete, but they are waiting on a way to retrieve the ammo. Yeah, that's what it seemed like they were getting at before. Just getting the shooting mechanics and then the way to get the ammo back. You think the instancing idea comes from that talk they did about doing underground facilities with instancing, so people just saw new facilities and were hoping for instancing? Yeah. I still think that they were going to. I think it would be weird for them to have the line of events and how it all played out seems to indicate that they had plans for these locations that didn't happen. From the mentions in the monthly reports about instancing not being ready yet to them suddenly delaying the cooperation zones but still dropping in the locations, and then them dropping in obviously over 100 locations seemingly to spread people out when all of the locations are similar, and there's no way in the future there actually will be 100 identical locations like that. It wouldn't really make sense. I think there's a lot of reasons to believe that. Yeah, CIG never officially said that. It's just speculation. What more is there to do? Speculate when CIG doesn't actually tell us what's happening. That's their choice. That's how it's working out for them. But it leaves us obviously with a lot of creative fuels. Looking at the progress tracker, which is really not a great way to understand what's going on in this game, but it at least tells you some of their plans, at least. They're putting a little update in, which they don't normally do. And here they put a little disclaimer: when progress on a deliverable is marked as complete, it doesn't necessarily mean it's ready for release. It may still require downstream support, transition to another team for further work, or other additional steps before completion. The way that they do the progress tracker is they literally used to be like, we're going to give you an update for the big teams, the gameplay teams that are focused on it. And then we're also going to give you an update in 6 months from now for the downstream teams like audio and sound effects and other things like that. At this point, they've kind of just done away with that model, and they just sort of drop progress tracker updates every now and then. So there's not really much to go off of. Like, I wouldn't trust it on the dates that they give you. But what they've added here are engineering, crafting, FPS radar and scanning, some new creature, inventory rework, item expiry, transport refactor, and command module. These are all very important, except for the creature. That's not like a big deal. These other ones are absolutely massive gameplay. Just to start with engineering, I mean, this is an initiative that we saw starting all the way back in, I think, 2020. And even before then, it was a lot of resource management talk. It's the pipes system that they used to be working on in 3.0 brought further. They describe it as allowing players to manage and maintain and repair various ship systems. Players can assume different roles that each provide a unique gameplay loop. With engineering gameplay, players have to contend with item degradation, malfunctions, and power management. There's a lot more to it than that, but as you can see, they've put their gameplay on it going up until October in terms of development. They have an ePTU plan for this, so we'll probably see it in-game in our own hands to at least test in a closed environment before this period is finished, but it very well may slip. There's not really much knowing exactly how it's going to go. Resource management was all part of this. You can read here, it says this system will handle resources for stations, settlements, cities, and all other locations. It will also unlock engineering station gameplay for ships, letting players manage power, CPU, fuel, shields, coolant, etc. The resource management was kind of the underlying system that factors into cities, like we said earlier. Engineering is, I guess, the ship version of it that they want to call it. We'll see what it looks like in ePTU, but that's where it is right now. Crafting is another pretty long-term one. Not like engineering is, but we've been hearing about it over the last couple of years, and honestly, there's a lot of work going into it. Supposed to be going until December, at least for this update, but again, we don't know what that means fully. Implementing the ability for players to craft various items using resources from throughout the persistent universe. Nobody really knows what exactly it's going to include fully. On the last monthly report, they did say that they were reconsidering what is included in the first release of crafting. For crafting, the team continued reevaluating the scope for the first public release, while the inventory UI concept shown recently on Star Citizen Live entered development. That's 2 updates on the things that we are talking about here. But I would assume that crafting is going to be delivered kind of similar to engineering in that we're not getting it all at once, which is also kind of similar to the ladders update. Like you feeling the trend here? It's good to keep that one in mind. FPS, radar, and scanning. This is another one that was supposed to go to the ePTU. Not really sure what has happened to it. Looks like they've pushed that work up until October. So maybe another thing we see in the ePTU sometime soon. The fact that they've even upgraded the progress tracker does tell me that they are at least considering the schedules for these items. It's not like a random thing that they have to put in. Not like engineering and FPS, radar, and scanning weren't already on there. But the item, what is it called? Item expiry. This is a new one, if I'm not mistaken. Enabling functionality for items such as keycards to now have an expiry timer, after which they are rendered non-functional. That's actually something that we saw on the video that they're referring to, had to do with the inventory, which we're going to look at in a second here. Is it here? Yeah, so this is the new inventory, and you can see some item expiry timers on here. What that was hinting at. Just the idea that, like, if you get a card from somewhere that needs you to go through actively to get the card, you can't just go get a bunch of cards, farm them for a week, and then use them over the course of the next several weeks because you don't have to actually go through the hard work anymore. Inventory rework. Implementing an improving experience with inventory management. We kind of knew this was going to happen. It was very obvious that what they put in as the inventory interface last year was just them reusing the inventory for the freight elevator. And they might do the freight elevator UI too, but I do think that the inventory we got last year was not meant to be the inventory. It was just them trying to keep inventory up to date with the freight elevator system and how cargo management was going to work. It worked terribly. They took it back out because it was just not a fun experience. But we know now that they are working on a new inventory, and I'm glad it's in development. Like, it's good that they're taking the concept into development. I thought it was going to take them a little longer, but there's no knowing when it might come out. Looking at this, I highly doubt it we're going to see in game by October. But who knows? I don't. There are so many less ways to figure it out now. Transport Refactor is a refactor of the existing transit system to allow for easier design setup, easier integration into instanced content like hangars, and more robust functionality in server meshed environments. This was the original Transit Refactor. Y'all remember that? The 4.0 Transit Refactor? Haunts us in our dreams. You don't say its name 3 times every night, it comes and kills you in your sleep. Transit Refactor is a pain. In fact, here is the roadmap roundup from May 15th of 2024. Transit Refactor got added to the release view of 4.0, reworking the transit system used for trams and elevators to be compatible with server meshing as well as generally more robust. I kind of hate this thing because I tracked the Transit Refactor in monthly reports from as far back as maybe 2023. They were talking about it. So it's not like they didn't know that it needed to be updated with server meshing. I'm thinking all of the work that was hopefully done to update it for server meshing beforehand was kind of like not as useful as hoped once server meshing actually hit and they needed to actually get hands-on and use it in the system. And that's why we saw the slowdown with the mission system refactor as well. But it actually got to the point where back in February, I think it was, they fully split the transit system refactor out and said that was their short-term thing. That's why we have noticed elevators and trams getting better throughout 2025. But then they also made an entirely different team to work on the transport refactor, which was going to be the entire rework, the full refactor of the existing system that would be meant to work with server meshing, as is being said there. You can probably go back to the monthly report in February. Maybe. I might have my months wrong. Let's see. You search for the transport. Oops. Yeah. A strike team was formed to deal with underlying issues affecting the transit system, while another continued with the ongoing refactor towards the new transport system. So they created 2 separate teams back in February to work on the problems we were having right now with the transit system, but also then to work on this new transport system that they are talking about here in the project progress tracker. So looking forward to hearing how things are going with that. Finally, we've got the command module, introducing the concept of vehicles taking over control from other host ships, primarily used for spaceships like the Drake Caterpillar. That is actually really cool to hear, and I do wonder if that's something that they have decided to work on so that the Ironclad doesn't release without its big feature here.
For everyone else, command module is there to steer the ship when it's attached, and the command module serves as the escape pod as well. The only time you really want to detach it is in an emergency. It's not designed to be your sort of primary ship flying around.
It kind of gives you a little bit of a get out of jail free card if you're transporting stuff that is quite valuable, quite sought after in maybe some of our less desirable systems. And what it allows you to do is kind of have a little bit of security. So if you're getting attacked or you're getting yourself into trouble, if you want to save yourself.
This honestly makes my mind go crazy when it comes to like survival gameplay in this game. Some people I have seen really don't want survival mechanics in this game. They don't want to get too cold. They don't want radiation. They don't want hunger or thirst or the idea of needing to fix your ship when it crashes and stuff like that. I think you need to find a new game, to be perfectly frank. But I also think that there's space. We're in space. Say it with me. We're in f***ing space. There's nowhere more dangerous to humans than space. Okay, we're not supposed to be there. Survival gameplay, it has to be part of this, in my opinion. And you got these ships that have these pieces that can detach. You have ships with escape pods on them. We're gonna have crafting and base building so you can like find and create stuff. It just doesn't make sense to not double down on this. And I really hope, I know it's just adding yet another thing onto the laundry list of things they need to do, but I really do hope that survival mechanics and the idea of crash landing on a planet and needing to figure out a way to get off of it is a big part of this game. I don't think there's anything here that like signifies that exactly, but a combination of all these different things, I think, does make it so that there is the possibility that, like, if you do need to ditch out of your ironclad when you're over a planet and leave this thing behind, you're going to have to figure out how to survive out of this command module. And the same thing is true for the caterpillar. I mean, obviously, people call this thing the Fatterpillar. They're pretty closely aligned in terms of how they work, just different in size. And I don't think these are the only two ships who are going to have this kind of thing. In fact, I'm probably forgetting about a ship that's already been announced that could benefit from something like this. Gotta be something else. I mean, the Endeavor, probably. Who knows? This might actually add into the functionality of modular ships. It is the command module that they're creating, so maybe it's like backwards modularity. You don't have a ship that loses its modules, you now have modules that can take over a ship kind of thing. We'll have to see what they do with it, but I think this is a feature that could go really far in terms of creating more of that. You're on the frontier. The E1. Okay. Yeah, the E1 has a command module. Cool. Yeah, so it's kind of an important thing. Yes, we are in space. Give me space danger. Heat, oxygen, water, sanity. There's a lot of stuff that is fleeting when you're in space, and I would love a game that focuses a little bit more on that, you know? The Corsair pod? Is that true? Yeah. I think this is an important feature. I'm glad they've got it here. Let's see what their tentative expectations are around it. Command module, they've got work. Ooh, yeah, they're showing work just having started, going through December. This is probably not something we're going to even hear about for the rest of the year. But it's nice it's being worked on. They're doing feature work, okay? And I don't want to say it's a coincidence that this is the first big update to the roadmap this year that we're seeing on feature work, and that just so happens to also coincide with the PvE, the EPTU starting to be talked about. All of this could just be coincidence, but it does seem like maybe they're starting to. God, I can't even say it. It's such hopium. Like, maybe they're starting to turn a little bit more towards the features and tech debt that they need to figure out for Star Citizen. We can only hope, because they've reached some better milestone with Squadron 42. But with the way that they're talking this year, it's really hard to know any of that. We can't confirm that. We can only speculate. And I do think that we will probably get a decent amount of information on this whenever we do see Benoit in the Star Citizen Live. Whenever that happens. Might be this week, might be next week. Who knows? But Benoit does seem to be the person who's allowed to talk about a lot of this feature stuff, the tech developments that they're working on. So I would keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for any sort of summaries and YouTube explanations that come out after that. We will obviously go through it in a whole bunch of detail here on the stream. I'll have a podcast episode about it. I'll probably make another video about it. It's going to be an important info drop, and I think it's where we'll hear more about this kind of stuff. But that was your roadmap roundup from last week. I'm sure you all have gone through this already, but hopefully this was a little more context for you. Thanks for watching. Oh, Yinzer, thank you for the sub, mate. I'm sorry I missed you. Much love with the Prime sub, dude. I appreciate you. Folks, if you didn't know, you can stick it to Amazon. Really stick it to them. It really pisses them off when you sub to a Twitch streamer. You get one free Prime sub every month. To support your favorite streamer. It doesn't have to be us, but folks, every single sub is one less grommet in Jeff Bezos' private space station bunker for the apocalypse. And I think we all owe it to ourselves to take that out of his retirement account. Just kidding. It's just a way to support people, but you know, thanks. Appreciate you, Inzer. When is the Benoit stream? Do we know? We don't know, unless they put out This Week in Star Citizen already. And it possibly is this week. Let's see. Oh, it did come out. And is there a Star Citizen Live? There is, but it's a Ship Showdown Q&A. You know what? I'm okay with that because I have a special podcast this weekend. That's right. For any of you who are supporters here on the channel, if you happen to be in Twitch, if you're a supporter on Patreon, or if you're a channel member on YouTube, big thanks to you. That's a huge help this past month. You get access to our live podcast. You can come and join us on Fridays when we host the podcast live on our Discord server, or you can see the podcast all throughout the weekend before it gets posted publicly on Monday. And this week we've got a special show. I am bringing on a developer from Jumpspace. It's a new game that's being created. It's coming out sometime soon. They're announcing their release date on Wednesday, I believe, at Gamescom. And oh look, CIG is going to be at Gamescom. And I'm very excited for this game. It's looking like it's going to be a great companion game to a game like Star Citizen. Something great to jump into when you want a night of just like chilling and playing games with some friends. So if you do want to come to that live show, I will have that scheduled on the Discord. Keep an eye out for it. And it makes it easy for me because if Benoit was going to be on the show this weekend, I'd be like probably trying to do 2 episodes. Yes, formerly Jumpspace or Jump Ship. Sorry. I've been trying really hard not to say Jump Ship. Iris. Somebody did something. Yeah, Vast, and there you go. Thank you. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you for the super chat, Tyrus. Hope you're doing well, my man. Hope you're keeping people connected to the internet as you do. Kind of weird that they showed the Asgard flying into the Onyx facilities when it's a vehicle dropship and there is nowhere for vehicles in the facility. It's the vehicle of love. Wait, didn't I say jump space? Now y'all are confusing me. I said jump space. Galloway said Gallowalloway said jump ship. Whatever. Y'all are confuzzling me. All right, the next update. Mr. 4.3.
Yeah, right. This is Mr. 4.3, Mr. Dark Territory, coming in live. Harris.
I've heard a lot of good times on this one and a lot of bad. I'd like to start, actually, I'm going to start a poll here. Do you like the new locations? Underground locations. All right. Yes, no, haven't tried them yet. They're okay. All right. I'm going to put this poll over on Twitch. And I'm going to throw one up on YouTube as well. And I want to get a read of the chat. All right. This poll is up on YouTube and Twitch. Let me know. What do you guys think of these new locations, the ASD underground facilities? I've seen different takes on them. Some have been more interesting than others, but I'd like to get your opinions because you guys are here live and you're willing, you can, like, you know, actually respond when you say something. It's easy to say things about something when nobody's going to ask you questions about what you're saying. Squadron 42 update at Gamescom? Nah, I doubt it. I don't think so. It's Space Jump, formerly Space Jam. Holy crap. I am completely thrown off. Lizard Space. Welcome to our new space RPG, Lizard Space. You can become lizards, control the weather, and fire lasers down on different planets. Only thing you really hate about the new locations is that they can't use medical ships to respawn. What use are they if we can't use them the one time they'd be really useful? You're gonna have to use the use. Hey, you remember that button? You guys remember the use prompt in this game? You say use that many times in a sentence and it just makes me flash back to 3.0. Freaking awful. Use. What does that mean? You would look at a NPC and the game would put the prompt over them that says use. What are you trying to support, Star Citizen? New location is neat, needs an outlaw mission that asks headhunters to go and scavenge the facility instead of just the investigation mission. Love them, but wish there was more to do there. Fetch quests and combat are great and all. Would like more puzzle work in there. Yeah, the puzzles are basically completely broken, right? I was talking to Kraken, and he was saying that he thinks the puzzles just aren't even in there. If we get a Silksong release date at Gamescom, then Squadron 42 2026 confirmed. Listen now. Listen. Squadron 42, Grand Theft Auto 6, and Silksong. What do they all have in common? I mean, you just named it. The freaking release dates. The newest exclusive video I'm working on, you guys don't just get podcast access live, but you also get an exclusive video every month. And I'm working on one that talks about how video games are just freaking hard to make now. And we've got a whole bunch of examples of that outside of Squadron 42 that just shows how ridiculous they are. Wish there was more to do. Oh, yeah. PvP is really unlikely to happen. I haven't yet encountered a player that hasn't come with me in them. I haven't either. But I am also seeing people who are saying that they're getting lit up as soon as they get off elevators. So, a big luck of the draw, I guess. They need a ground entrance. I do think they need a ground entrance. I'm guessing they just didn't put it in because they don't want people to freely go in and out of this location. They want you to go through the hangar so that the game can understand how many people are inside, how many times people have come inside. That's what she said. Folks, you need to stop looking for making things easy. Love the fact that if you die in ASD, you have to make your way back. Consequences, folks, consequences. Don't tell me about consequences, dude. I should be free of consequence at all times. If I set my foot on fire, I want my foot and the fire to both say I'm sorry and let me get along with my day. I just want to try things, you know? Why should I have to pay for those things? There's a puzzle in, but nobody was able to get it to work as far as I know. Right. Corn, you usually enjoy the ship showdown. The lineup this year makes you feel nothing. Dead inside? Dude, at least it wasn't all new ships. That would have been so fitting for this year. All you hear from is the vocal minority as always. Bro, that's why I'm trying to get some polls up in here, you know? You gotta poll the pollers to poll the polls. Get some polls on the poll. You ran into like 4 people yesterday running them around Hurston Switch to Crusader, and you have yet to see a person. The people that you ran into, did you have problems with them, Death Row? Honestly, I don't even think you have to wait for instancing with these locations. Just wait a month. Not even a month, wait a couple weeks. Wait 1 week, and they're going to be a lot easier to go and do without running into other people. You cannot set a respawn in the facility. I haven't tested this in live, but at least in the PTU, when you would leave in the facility, you would come back in the same spawn bed. But if you died in the facility, you would go back to your normal medical place. For every one person you hear talking about being killed, there are 99 that didn't say anything because nothing happened. What about the 99 who didn't say anything even though something happened? Checkmate. Sorry, I'm trying to screw this in on the mic. You've run into 2 people total. Tikapo? Tikapo Jones. I like that name. That's a good one. Tikapo. How's the poll looking? Looks like most people either like them or haven't tried them yet on Twitch with 27 votes. On YouTube, it looks like most people like them and also haven't tried them out, but more people like them than haven't tried them out. With 47 votes. YouTube is always, man, YouTube, you guys are here for the engagement. I get you. I'll give you that. Appreciate you. All right, let's talk about this update, yeah? So, Star Citizen 4.3 is live, and I kind of missed it going live. I missed a couple things that went live with it, but we will be covering these things today. First up, we're just going to take a look at the update itself, what it includes, And then we're going to do a little dive into the Onyx facilities. I got a few FAQ here that will take us through sort of everything they're supposed to be providing, or everything they want to tell us. And we're trying to leave some stuff up for exploration and discovery's sake. But here is at least the trailer that comes with it. We could take a look at this first and then jump into what it means. You guys aren't getting sound? That's weird. Why would you not be getting sound here? Oh, you know what it is? Hold on. I know what it is. Like I said, this has not been made for streaming. Here we go. It should work now. All right. So, pretty, it's honestly, they're getting these videos, the way that they're doing them, they're trying to do something that I actually was really hoping they would do last year. I was thinking to myself, it would be really cool if they started to theme the updates they were dropping. But they're doing it in a different way than I was thinking. I was hoping that they would get around to like theming them in like, this is an industrial patch. Here's some of the stuff that industrial people would like. You know, you would see maybe the small mining update. You would see some little bits of and pieces of cargo being up. You might get something from salvage, you know, like scanning and radar kind of stuff. Then the next update, they'd be like, this is an update all around combat and caves, and you would see cave additions, some missions that go into caves, maybe the dynamic crosshair, that kind of stuff. Instead, what we're seeing is updates that are being themed around the location that they're bringing in. Because none of the updates that we've gotten this year have been just the location. You can go to like 4.1 and we got the collision physics updates. We got new armor. We got the mission give a Wicklow. I mean, he actually shows up in the trailer. We got a couple new missions, I think, like combat missions. There was the Atlas Geo with the mining update. There's like a decent amount of stuff that comes into these patches, but so much of it ends up getting focused on the new locations. And then they make the trailers about the new locations. And then they market the new locations. And I think that's why a lot of times when these things come in, people just say they're events. Dark Territory is now going to be referred to by players as an event that was dropped into Star Citizen and will likely not be used or cared about in 2 months. And I think that's hurting the longevity of the stuff that they're putting into these events now, or these updates. Look at me, I did it too. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. The people who care know that there is more going into each of these updates than just a single location with something that may or may not be time limited linked to that location. But I do still think it kind of muddies the conversation surrounding this stuff. We're going to talk about these locations in a second, but we can look through all of the things that they mention here. First of all, obviously, they're talking in big terms about the new locations. Advanced lab creatures left to survive on the meat of unwanted visitors. The dead and dying deserve justice. It's time to uncover the truth. Truth? Did I just say truth? Oh, man. There's that jet lag. It's time to uncover the truth and expose the ethically void corporation that left them to perish. Blow the lid off of this torment so that ASD can never hide again. I will admit 4.3 is actually a little bit lighter in terms of additions outside of these locations. We got snow. But continuing on, they talk about the ASD locations. You get a little bit further down, they talk about the ASD locations. And then besides that, they're selling patch bundles. This doesn't help you. This. All right, let's see. Investigate now. Does this take you to the patch notes? No, this is a chance to sign up. See, these aren't even patch notes for the update. And I just don't think, I'm not even logged in now, you know? And if I scroll down to the bottom of this, I see a $250 ship to buy. I really think that they could do, I think that they could do a better job with the way that they're dropping these updates. They're not like, there's obviously not a lot to advertise, especially with 4.3. Let's see if I log in here, what this looks like. There's not a lot to advertise, especially with 4.3, but in general, I just don't think that the way they're doing it is doing a good job of sucking people in. There's nothing here about new armor, new weapons, ladder improvements. Again, aren't huge additions. Nothing in here about, where are the patch notes? Did they not drop the patch notes? Star Citizen 4.3 patch notes. And maybe it's a Spectrum post? Okay, here we go. So how do you get to this? You have to go to the patch notes section, I guess? Yeah, I don't know. It's... So that main post is definitely like a just marketing post to talk about these new locations. It's not really about the 4.3. It's just about the locations. Well, scrolling down, they mention the Onyx facilities, initial facility access, delving into the deep facility, which is after you complete the phase 1 missions, research labs, engineering. Those are the different wings. Talk about mission distribution tech. Mission distribution tech updates in 4.3 includes an updated way of directing players around locations for missions that are unlimited, such as hauling, Wicklow, and the new Onyx location facilities. This system should greatly improve location spreading when many players are attempting the same missions. Except, if I'm not mistaken, that tech is not in the update. DIG, come on. You guys, there's no way they... forgot that in there, right? Mission pickup on locations. This card has been postponed to a later date. Mission distribution updates in 4.3. So that must be something different. Yeah, that's the mission distribution tech. Okay. That's different. That's just not on the release view. I guess they're not including that. But it is still something that is supposed to improve the way that missions are being handed out in this update. Moving on from there, we got new hairstyles, light fighter flight tuning going on, continuing on from 4.1, 4.2, and 4.2.1. They've done some speed changes, linear accelerations, angular speeds, health pools, other fixes, specifically for light fighters. Done some additional vehicle updates like adding Drake Golem, Misk Fortune, Mirai Guardian, and the Hornet Mark II, Super Hornet, into the store. They've added the Anvil Hornet F7A ball turret to the shops. Added the new Volt Zenith sniper rifle, updated some bit on the shotgun. Improved dynamic snow, ladder improvements are brought in. Personal instance hangar spawning, the ability for players to respawn in the hangars when you load into the game as opposed to in a hab. And then obviously all the bug fixes and stuff that they've done there. Freight elevators, they have fixed it showing internal error when items were placed on top of the elevator building. They fixed the Anvil Carrick exterior cargo panel, shifting position after interaction. They fixed the Lazarus freight elevator, causing items to occasionally disappear when lowered instead of being added to the local inventory. They've also made some mission reward changes, player ship and items fixed in some various scenarios, technical system fixes, UI and inventory stuff, art and visuals, and then on the tech side, fixed 7 client crashes and 2 server crashes. There's more to these updates than just the one location that they brought in the storyline behind it, but clearly they're very, very focused on making sure that's what people see. And I do think that they need to at least include a link to the patch notes on here instead of, maybe a sales thing. Like, inform the folks of what else has changed in this patch. Because some of this stuff is important, but ultimately 4.3 is a fairly light patch for being a quarterly update. And I think a lot of that is because of the cooperation zones and the tech that was needed for that being pushed out. I think this would have felt like a more substantial update than that. But we also have a Q&A, as I mentioned, about these locations, so we can talk about that a little bit here and look at the more in-depth information. So ASD, Associated Science and Development, is a high-end human spacecraft weapons manufacturer headquartered on Persei, Redder 2. Among other common products are energy weapons, distortion cannons, railguns, and shredders. The company's reputation suffered a blow after their EE-6 electron cannon suffered a catastrophic malfunction that resulted in several deaths during its public unveiling. That's not a big deal, just pay someone. Jeez. What are the Onyx facilities? The Onyx facilities are a network of abandoned research sites scattered throughout the Stanton system, totaling nearly 100. It was around 120. Not sure if they just haven't updated this text, but 120, 100, I don't know. How big a difference does that make? While there is still light security in these locations, ASD has abandoned the facilities. Players and mercenary NPCs alike will be exploring these derelict ASD installations to recover data, solve puzzles, and uncover the mysteries within these hazardous locations. Okay? How do I get started? With the release of 4.3, the first 2 wings will be available. Arkin Maller, a new mission giver from Hawkrow Agency, tasks you with venturing into these locations, recovering whatever research data exists, and uncovering the true extent of ASD's experiments into the regen crisis. Okay. The biggest thing that I think gets missed regarding these locations is this next bit. Is there any mission to complete in these Onyx facilities? They mention many contractors will contact you to get their hands on the data and technologies lost in the facilities. This includes Hawkrow, which is what we've already talked about, but it also includes Eckhart, Miles Eckhart in the Mercenary tab, the Bounty Hunters Guild in the Bounty tab, and hauling missions from Redwind in the Hauling tab. So a lot of folks I've been seeing with their criticism of these locations are basically saying, well, you give us the storyline that gives us 5 things to do, and then there's no reason for these locations to exist. But you can see here that CIG has already included these locations in the cargo hauling infrastructure, in the network of places that you might deliver or pick stuff up from. I don't think there's deliveries, but specifically you can be tasked with picking stuff up at these locations. So these are still locations that are adding into the rest of the game. It's not just a storyline. You can also see from the Bounty Hunters Guild and the Mercenary Guild, you might have missions that send you to these locations to do other things, kill certain people, find other people. And this is true of the Hathor facilities too. I've gotten mercenary missions that take me out to the Hathor facilities again in order to go and take out certain targets and find certain people. That's not game changing. It's not going to make anybody's life, better. Sorry, you still have to go to work and live life, and you can't retire early. But it does at least show that there is some effort to still have things occur at locations that are outside of whatever the initial drop is that comes in, whatever the initial story might be. I think that's important. That's something we need to continue to see. And to be honest, it should get a lot more in depth than just having a little contract here and there. Yeah, and honestly, the distribution centers are getting shafted when it comes to this kind of thing, and they need to be utilized better. These locations on their own shouldn't replace this distribution centers. What they should do is get CIG to create other types of underground facilities and connect those to distribution centers so we can have more gameplay across multiple locations. But this should be encouraged. This kind of stuff should be celebrated, and I'm hoping we'll get into the game and we'll test this ourselves and see what kind of other contracts we can run at these locations. But I'm hoping that this starts to catch on more. People notice it. CIG gets clear feedback that this is a good thing, and we need to keep using these locations for more than just whatever the hot thing is at the moment. What is earned at these locations? They say it is for you to discover a new weapon, rare loot, armors, knowledge. You'll have to search every inch of that forsaken place, face whatever needs facing, and while you're at it, try to come back alive. And the first comment is, hey, these facilities exist. Question, what's in them? Answer, figure it out. Great FAQ. And I don't know what else I would expect from a Spectrum comment. Hey, we got new content. You didn't tell me everything that there is to know about it. Which I guess is what the next comment says. Why explore if you can have prior knowledge about everything, right? Yeah. It probably shouldn't tell us every single thing there is to be known about them. I do appreciate knowing that there are more contracts. And like you guys have said in the chat, it is wished and hoped that there is more to do in these locations besides just what we have to do. But as a first drop of underground facilities, first of all, I'm just happy that we're still getting underground facilities. I was really bummed that we haven't seen anything about them and that distribution centers came in and seemingly completely ignored them. So I'm happy to see this. I really do hope that we can get a chance, though, to answer some questions about where this is supposed to go. I don't have it anymore, but the thread that I had up, that was my whole question. You guys are dropping in underground facilities. This is great. Good for the game. But are you going to continue to drive it towards what you said it was going to be 2 years ago, including mining and salvage opportunities and cargo and being able to walk around in this place as a sort of centralized location to get more missions? That's what I think everybody would want to know. The biggest thing I think bugs people about these locations is that there are 100 of them and they're all identical, and they seem to only be made for just this 4.3 narrative. Many people will probably call it an event. And what CIG needs to do is show that these updates are about more than just dropping something in for us, the players, to use at this exact moment. These are about filling out a game that people are going to be playing for years. It's not about us. This is about Star Citizen 1.0. This is about creating content that will last, that can be reused, and that maybe you can get through in 2 weeks' time, but 2 years from now, somebody's going to stumble upon this storyline and get to try it out. In fact, if we go back to the Star Citizen 1.0 panel, I think that's kind of what they were talking about. Now, I can't hear this because the audio does not come through to my ears correctly. I'm going to try and search the transcript and see if I can pull up the actual thing that I'm referencing, but you guys are going to have to listen in for this yourself. The main story is a story through some of which may be familiar, both this story and the PU. The main story is also designed to be sort of like a tour bus. Yeah, I don't actually know if they mention this. They talk mainly about the main story here.
So that's the why. So where is this adventure going to take you? Well, 1.0 is going to include 5 star systems. This story is going to weave you through all of them, but where exactly are you going to build a cast of...
So like this is talking about the main story, but I do genuinely believe that what they're trying to do here is just create storylines that you'll come across as you play the game. We talked about this with mission givers back in the day. Oh, we love taking these missions and contracts from the Moby-Glass, but when you go and you work for T-Ship and Chaco, you're getting 4 or 5 missions that work through a story that you get to see and play and experience on your own time. I think that's all they're doing here. I think they're just making stories that you can come across in the game. And at some point, they're hoping that there is a narrative or storyline or something you can do on any planet or any moon that isn't necessarily made to be run over and over and over and over again, but are more just meant to be things that you can stumble upon and take however much effort and time into it that you want, but ultimately choose to jump out if you're not interested. And if they can keep these stories and preserve them and let people play through them as they experience Star Citizen, but also incorporate the generalized contracts like cargo deliveries that we're also running, it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Doesn't mean that they're going to be able to do it perfectly. It doesn't mean that this is the right model of game for everything or even for Star Citizen, but I think it's a valiant effort. I think it's worth trying, and I think it can lead to a lot of content living in the game for a long time. But here's what they were saying about it then.
Dynamic characters, some of which may be familiar, for both this story and the PU. And the main story is also designed to be sort of like a tour bus structure where you can hop on and hop off at any time you want to. So we're not also requiring you to do it. So if you want to log in day 1 and just go off and do your thing, you can do that. Or maybe you want to put the story on hold so you can go explore a new facet of gameplay that you just discovered. Go for it. The point is that you can complete it at your own pace. So that's the what. So why do you want to do this? What's the motivation to want to go on this ride? Like Rich said, for new players, it's a great way to ease into sort of the vast lore that we've been developing over 12 years. The gameplay, the locations that the game has to offer, and also give you a sense of upcoming stories that are about to come. But you've been playing Star Citizen for years.
The stories that are about to come. So they kind of hint at it. And if you go and you look at the different guilds that they were introducing at this time, you can also see that those are the guilds they're introducing with this stuff. Specifically with 4.3, the Mercenaries Guild. Come on. Has introduced the Hawkrow Agency. You can see all of the operative FPS stuff they were talking about last year was supposed to come from the Hawkrow Agency. You can also see Citizens for Prosperity, Eckhart Security, who is offering missions at these locations too. They're building in this direction. They're doing it quietly maybe, and they're not making that big of a deal out of it. Might not be the biggest of things happening. But I think a lot of what these locations are supposed to be and where we're headed with this is getting lost in the marketing and the way that they present them. And I'm hoping that they can start to message a little bit more on the overall goal of adding this stuff than just like, hey, it's 4.3. Hey, it's 4.4. Check this out, it's 4.2.1. Yay.
This isn't just.
God dang it. That's what I wanted. Why do we want these instanced again? In my opinion, the best reason to have these instanced is so that we don't have 100 of the exact same locations around Stanton, but instead we have 1 or 2 locations that host this story, and then we can have underground facilities that host other stories and other NPCs and other types of things around the system. And they don't all have to be the same thing because everyone wants to do this thing, but there's only so many of them, and so everybody runs into each other. At least if they're instanced, that means they can have more of the same kind of location in other places where this location still exists because they have to make so many of them. But yeah, as they said, they need dynamic server meshing for their instancing. So we will see when that happens. That was I think that was also a July monthly report thing. EU port. The July monthly EU port. And Google still gets what I'm trying to say. They say it. Oh no, it was June, huh? Right here. Steady progress is currently being made towards dynamic server meshing, which is also crucial for the successful implementation of instancing. So, they've got their hurdles. Fully dynamic server meshing isn't available yet, but once it is, maybe they will be doing a lot more stuff with instancing in the game. I don't know. The whole thing will be an instance, you think? ASD sites were even set up properly to be instanced, eventually having a hangar that you land in, right? Right. Either way, that's a little look into the facilities and the additions of 4.3 and my own little bits of criticism on how they could better handle these updates. I'm not a hater. I don't hate Star Citizen. I just think there's things that they could do better, and hopefully they do. Hopefully they learn and continue to explore and grow. Thank you, CIG, for some more fun opportunities, some more fun locations. Can't wait to get into them. We'll see how they go. You logged out in space yesterday and just woke up in the Onyx facility? There it is, Big Matt. Hacking his way into the facilities. Ilk, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by a stream. Hope you're having a lovely day. All right, so the poll on Twitch has ended. And I don't know what the results were. But thank you everybody who took part in them. If you did take part in the poll, you may or may not have gotten a couple extra points towards our L21 Wolf giveaway. Some extended chances to get extra inputs into that. And on YouTube, still at 84 votes, 58% of people said that they like the new underground facilities, 1% said no, 6% said they're okay, and 35% said they haven't tried them yet. I'll come back to you with another poll on that at the end of the month. We'll see how it's going. Is the event working now? That one I don't know. I've seen people saying that they're getting better experiences, but I have no idea for myself. Positivity on a Monday. That's what I'm talking about, Valentino. We're positive folks here. We like the good times. Dynamic meshing won't instance these locations. What it will do is broaden the number of players until a limit set by CIG. CIG thinks there should only be a max of 8 people inside. That's how it will work. All I'm going by is the monthly report, man. They said that their instancing is dependent on... What is it? What was the exact sentence? Dynamic server meshing is crucial for the successful implementation of instancing, whatever the heck that means. Just that they're going to need it. Could it be a feature to prevent people from going back to menu to transport their loot? I don't know. I don't think they would really try that hard for it. Seen people on the servers complain about new elevator bugs like boxes being stuck, invisible, or inside one another. Yay! You still having issues with cargo elevators in your hangar? Whoa. Hangar cargo elevators shouldn't even be allowed anymore. It was running better yesterday, but some of your cargo disappeared while bringing it up on the elevator. Okay. Most they've discussed about instancing probably revolves around the ArcCorp Undercity stuff. Yeah, they mentioned instancing some fleet battles and things in space as well. But as far as most particularly, yeah, it's the underground facilities in ArcCorp that they were talking about. There's a new bug with cargo elevators, but it's easy to work around. The previous blockers for elevators seem to be gone. That's good. You go back to main menu and you come back to the server, you spawn back in Honest. Yeah, so that's what I was saying was happening during PTU. It sounds like that is still a thing in the live. Honestly is, I think, a good thing. All right, let's talk about this new ship. The L-21 Wolf from Kruger Intergalactic has been announced, and I will start this video by saying no, I don't have a problem with the ship. Just the little dangly on the back. We're still, I think, within the first minute of the video, so I can't say what I truly believe that looks like, but I'm sure you guys can all take a guess from my reaction video. But the ship itself is another combat ship. It's made to look a very specific kind of way. If you can't tell from this specific picture what they want it to look like, it's the older fighters of yore. I think they mentioned the Mustang as being one of those, Spitfire being another. Those kind of World War II style... Those World War II style ships, fighter jets, not jets, but like fighter props that made those noises. All that stuff. Don't hang the angle of the dangle. I love the angle of the ship. The ship is freaking beautiful. And I think everything except for its little fin make it look gorgeous. Whole bunch of marketing text here. We're not going to really spend too much time on that. Just wanted to show you what this first page looks like. These pictures are honestly a little bit low resolution compared to what they normally put out. And it does sound like this ship is actually launched with less functionality than it should have at this point. The components aren't actually physicalized, which is crazy to me. I don't know how they're going to release a ship without physicalized components or the ability to actually take them out or put them in, but I think they need to get that fixed. The update itself, 4.3, being pushed on a Saturday really shows just how intense their schedule is this year. Because in a normal year, when they're focusing on 4 major patches throughout the year, 3 days of waiting to push the patch forward is really not that big a deal. Waiting from Saturday and then pushing it out on a Monday or Tuesday doesn't seem like it would be that big a deal. But with this update cadence that they've chosen, where they're releasing something every month, and they're probably already doing their go no go for 4.3.1 to go to the PTU, so they want this live so that they can turn their attention to that. And it's just Squadron 42 is releasing probably at the end of next year. So does that mean that we're going to have to see a whole nother year of this kind of cadence just to keep up the vibes and the funding to reach Squadron 42? Or is this a specialty for 2025 and they're going to take a load off after this and try to return to a little bit more of a normal update structure? Because this is pushing them. It's pushing them, it's pushing the community, it's pushing the buttons. Either way, let's continue. So this ship came out. It is $90, which is about the price of a Gladius, I want to say. an insane amount, I would imagine, for anybody who is watching this and isn't used to Star Citizen or its ship page or the way that they do their funding. You don't have to spend money on this ship to get it. It'll probably not be in the game for you to get for a few months yet, but like, do not see this as something that needs to be purchased. If you're new to this game, if you've just started over the last couple of months, this will be in game at some point, and you will be able to get the exact same version as everybody else is getting when they hit this add to cart button. So don't freak out. Resist the FOMO. Take some time. The ship itself is not even up to the standards of ships what they should be in the game right now, so there's not much point to jump in on it. You can get like a limited edition paint, which I think is really what they should do for this overall. Is like going forward with ship sales even after they reach 1.0. I think they shouldn't sell any ships over a certain amount. I think the ships that they do sell should get released to everyone at the same time. You just get a skin, like a special paint or something on it when you buy it with cash. Okay, yay. You're helping back the game, you know? But ultimately, CIG is only making money from this. They don't have a game that they've sold, right? They're not making, like, everybody talks about how Grand Theft Auto 6 is taking forever because they're still milking Grand Theft Auto 5, not to mention Red Dead Redemption and all the other stuff that 2K can probably take money from for that development. But there is no previous game for them to be making money off of. There are no venture capitalist investors or big publishers that are funding them from other projects they've done. There's a little bit, tiny bit of private investment there, but mostly the money that they're getting to develop this game comes from these ship sales. And hopefully at some point, someday in the future, sometime, Squadron 42 sales. That being said, again, don't feel like you need to spend money just to see the game become a thing. It's fine. Other people will take care of it. Just like, love the ship if you like the way it looks. Find somebody else's to steal when it's in game. And then go earn it in 6 months, whenever it gets in there. They dropped an FAQ for this as well, to talk about the more in-depth answers that people might have questions for. I will go through some of these. We'll find like the interesting ones, but if you want to go through this whole thing, I'll drop a link down for you. Mr. Deadset. Mr. freaking Deadset at 55 months, dude. Holy crap. Appreciate you, buddy. I hope you're having a good time. Hope you're enjoying the Star Citizen community. Would love to see you around the game sometime. Thanks so much for the support. With the Wolf, he said, I'm really hoping for a multi-crew Kruger anytime in the near future. Kruger looks cool. Not gonna lie though, I think my favorite idea is still a multi-crew, maybe like 40 to 60 meter CNOU ship. That would be so cool. And who knows, maybe that's what we're gonna see soon. Maybe it is. Yeah, Mrs. T, 55 months. I keep saying we need to have a special alert for when people have subbed for that long. We're going to get the stream back up to snuff. Now that we're back here and we have some more time to think about it and focus on it, I need to get caught back up on videos, get the main YouTube channel back into the recommended feed and the algorithm, and then we are going to get this stream updated with the special sounds and all the things. Mrs. Tomato is standing here nodding at me vigorously and saying yes. Yes. Okay. I will see you soon. Hey, nobody asked for this. PK, is this you? Did you do this? Somebody claims it, so now you must wait, except for when they don't. Hey, the poets. How's it going, dude? You want the ship to be able to land and float in water? I think they do too. I think that's why they put this little thin peen down here. Okay. Could you introduce the Kruger brand for those unfamiliar with it? For the lore enthusiasts, are there any new developments and changes to Kruger's lore with this ship releasing? They said a lot of stuff. I don't really feel like reading all that. Can you read this? Okay. Renowned for their manufacturing precision and expertise, Kruger Galactic is the UAE's premier custom parts manufacturer with long-standing contracts with RSI Bearing and other industry titans. As their success grew, Kruger methodically expanded operations into weapons manufacturing before partnering with RSI on the P-Series Snub fighters for the Constellation. The L-21 Wolf is the first ship independently developed and manufactured by the company and beautifully blends their unique design and blends their unique design aesthetic with centuries of manufacturing expertise. To celebrate this exciting new era, Kruger updated their logo to use sleek silver and white color scheme to embody the subtle elegance they strive for in their products. Hey, they updated their logo. Hopefully it's not as bad as the, who was it, Jaguar? Was it the Jaguar rebranding that was terrible? Like everybody, let's see, hold on. Yeah, even Google got it. The Jaguar rebrand generated a strong and polarized reaction, with some praising its bold and necessary move and others criticizing it for abandoning the brand's heritage. Oh yeah, that's not great. I don't know, man. I think companies rebrand just because they get bored. And they're like, oh, we're moving away from flat design. Except then they're moving to flat design. I don't get it. Kruger, though. Kruger, on the other hand, isn't this their normal logo? Silver and white color scheme? Okay, sure. Why not? The Poets, your little guy's 5 months old now. Growing fast, dude. Oh, 5 months is a fun time. Finally starting to respond a little bit. Show some levels of, hey, I'm a human. Not just a little bean. Congrats on you guys. I'm glad you're at 5 months. Many, many more years, decades, and hopefully maybe even centuries ahead of you. Who knows how we're gonna move forward in the healthcare industry, right? Some quality reading right there. I'm sure everybody got what was meant to be said there. It does have a quantum drive. Honestly, if a ship doesn't specifically get named as a snub, it's gonna have a quantum drive. What unique design elements or features do the team want to highlight most of this ship? They want to push the elegance of what combat ships in the verse are. They want to show there is room for smooth and sleek lines on a deadly combat-focused ship. They want to hark back to the 50s era of concept vehicles and designs that we have lost over time. It's like, can we pull up the Naboo fighter? I'd say it's... I mean, I could see like the similar design ideas here. I'm not going to say it's the same ship. Obviously not. Like, I could see, you know, I could see how that looks similar to this. Just backwards. It's just like flying a Naboo fighter backwards. Everybody says it's more akin to the Mandalorian fighter ship from the... Oh. From the most recent season. They're just going to keep pulling up this one. This one, what is this? The N1 Starfighter. Which looks a lot like the Naboo Starfighter too, so makes sense. Yeah, it's got very similar vibes to the Naboo Starfighter. I could see it. You could at least see the similarities. That's the same ship. Just turn it around. You just have to flip it 180 degrees and put the cockpit in backwards. It's the same model. They just ripped it out of the Star Wars and put it into the Star Citizen. And they said, well, it's got Star on the front of it. Must be fair use. They also said the last thing they want to do is mix clean, flowing lines with an aggressive cockpit location, intimidating weapons, and a landing stance that echoes historic single-seater warplanes. That's where that one comes in. Does Kruger bring a unique ship UI style to the Wolf? It adapts the normal generic UI, but it does not make a Kruger bespoke style, which I was wondering about. Given the distinct styling with the cockpit positioned in the midsection, how does the placement impact visibility? This stupid fin. It doesn't, for anybody who's watching this and being like, oh my god, Space Tomato, why are you so anal? It doesn't actually bother me that much, guys. It's the fin. It doesn't look great, but whatever. As the L-21 Wolf is a pure combat ship, player visibility was one of the key design goals when we set out with the early concepting. Originally, we had the cockpit sit further back on the body, however, we discovered this did impact player visibility in a negative way. That tracks. The concept that they showed us before, I'm pretty sure the cockpit was a decent amount
Kind of cool. I was pretty happy
further
with
back.
It is a bit.
So here's what it was based on. See if we can get a good shot of it. So this is the ship that it was based on. And it does look like, yeah, the cockpit was definitely closer to the very back. It was like right here, maybe? A little bit further back. There wasn't much. I think they should have integrated the fin into the back of this little circular spot. And then put the thruster on the bottom of the ship instead of the fin. Were there any other models that had a fin that was facing down? No, I don't think so. This one had a fin going upwards. This one also had a fin going upwards. So it's kind of like a more unique decision to make regarding the ship. Actually, yeah, see, they had models with the thruster on the bottom. I don't know why they didn't go with that and then put the fin on the top. Like, it was already a detail in the concepts they were working with. They just, I guess, decided with this one, change it up. Kind of like that thruster on the bottom, though. Make spaceships. Yeah, our ships don't go in the water. The current release of the Wolf does not include accessible physicalized components. Are there plans to add them in the future update? Imagine if they were just like, no. They're not. Sucks to be you if you bought this, buddy. They said, whilst the current release of the Wolf does not have accessible components, they are physicalized in the correct positions and will be accessible and physically swappable in a future patch. So I've got to wonder, if they are physicalized there, why can't we access them? That's so weird. But I'm guessing this is going to be something that we see in 4.3.1 or 4.4. I would not expect them to leave it unworkable for very long. It's already, I think, not great that they're introducing a ship without it. They should get that updated quickly. We have found that engineering doesn't match our plans for the future. Imagine, dude. Oh god, I would melt. What kind of playstyle is the Wolf designed for? What roles or situations does it truly excel in? I hear it's a great repair ship and salvaging. The L-21 Wolf is a dedicated light fighter built for close quarters engagements against other small craft. So please, for the love of God, don't complain when you go up against the Idris and don't win. Okay? You can try it. Honestly, I think it would make for a very entertaining video, especially if you could pull it off, but like, it's not exactly made for that. It leverages good maneuverability, high speed, and sharp acceleration. These qualities make it a dangerous threat. Danger! Not only in ships of its own class, but also in those in adjacent roles, including medium and heavy fighters. Okay. Now we're getting a little auspicious there, CIG. It's going to be a dangerous threat to heavy fighters, they said. I mean, what are the Gatling guns? Size 4s? If you can avoid getting hit, then this could probably put on a lot of component damage. Size 4 Gatlings means a lot of ballistics going in, but you got to be careful flying this. You can't beat a capital ship with your light fighter. Honestly, it'd be funny. Some of the capital ships might not be able to beat a light fighter on their own anyways, so you can't control the weapons from the pilot seat. Preferably. Where does the Wolf sit in the light fighter lineup compared to other options like the Anvil Arrow or Aegis Gladius? The L-21 Wolf is a light fighter that pushes the limits of maneuverability and acceleration, placing it among top contenders like the Arrow in terms of handling and size. However, compared to other light fighters in its class, such as the Gladius, the Wolf has a less resilient hull and a higher emissions profile. Huh. Higher emissions is interesting. That is a way to balance a ship. As a result, pilots will need to carefully manage the double size 1 shield's HP. Okay. A threat means they could probably take off some thrusters or weapons, maybe a component or two. Still, I mean, I still think that's putting people in a interesting mindset if they don't know how to fly the ship well. How does it perform against medium and heavy fighters? As I said before, compared to other classes, the L-21 Wolf offers significantly superior handling and a respectable amount of firepower to take on larger components, provided it doesn't stay exposed to enemy fire. Yeah, that would be the big one. Does it have any storage space or FPS racks? Yes, the pilot has an external storage on the starboard side, including located behind the wing, and a small weapon rack on the port side towards the rear of the ship. Will the fin affect the ship's aerodynamics? The fin in this initial release is tied to the landing gear state only. We are investigating player control options, Alt+K, anybody? To allow it to be manually toggled in the future. It currently does not dynamically impact aerodynamic handling, though when the control surface's feature hits the PU, you can expect it to have an impact in atmosphere yaw ability. Is there a way to manually retract or Okay. Oh, deploy the Wolf's weapons while in SCM. Yes, you are able to manually toggle weapons via the relevant hotkey. That is the P button, which triggers the retract and deploy animation. A lot of ships already use that. Kruger previously created a racing variant of the Merlin, the Archimedes. Are there any plans to develop a similar race-focused variant of the Wolf? Currently, there are no plans to develop a racing variant. However, we would love one, as we feel it fits the brand identity. But we will see what happens in the future. Yeah, we'll see one. We'll get a racing variant at some point. What I would much prefer would be to, oh my god, okay, this is gonna be crazy. Bear with me. It's gonna be insane. Imagine if they took the ship and moved the cockpit slightly off axis, put an extra seat next to it, got rid of the weapons, and called this an 85X competitor. Come on, that'd be cool, right? That would be sick. 85X needs a little love. It needs a competitor. Competition is good for the customers. It's good for everybody. The sound design of this ship is pure design porn. Pure spaceship porn. I was hoping it would sound good. What do you guys say? I don't think I have 4.3 Live downloaded. I think it would actually just destroy my stream to do that. So maybe not today. It's gonna take a lot to download it. How about next or on Wednesday we jump in with this ship and give it a little look. I know it's like I'm getting to all this stuff very old, very late. It's all feeling like old news, but I've got to go through the motions, or else I'm just never gonna get any experience or any chance to read all this news. So thank you guys for joining me for this. What do you say, though, we take it out on Wednesday? Do a little bit of dogfighting. Maybe we can jump in with GII and see what kind of a mess we can cause. The Wolf DS? Yeah, I like that. That sounds perfect. That won't trigger anybody's post-traumatic stress disorder. You've been enjoying the Wolf. Once you upgrade the shields and power units, it can take a decent hit. Okay. You would like to see a center. Oh no, that wasn't me. That was Maverick. Maverick came up with the Wolf DS. You'd like to see a center mounted gun like on the P-52. And genuinely, that's where I thought this was. I thought this was where the gun was going to come out. I think even in the concept art. Oh no, in the concept art, it looks like they actually had the... Yeah, no, they had the side guns planned for it the whole time. I didn't notice that. So it looks like it got wider, a little bit flatter, less curvy with some harder edges. Obviously, this is all concept art, so not a lot of detail. This thing looks like a Phantom. Like this, I feel like would have been named the Kruger Intergalactic Phantom. This looks more like a kind of a hot rod look almost, and I get that they were going for the planes that inspired it. It changed a little bit in its design. But honestly, I'm not mad at it. I can't wait to see it in the game. You like the design they settled on better? Because a light fighter with 2 size 4 guns needs another gun in the middle. Let's make it a size 10 railgun. Why not? I think they meant a gun in the middle instead of 2 on the sides. You'd like the center if the Gatling should shoot energy cannons, but limit it to shooting only one style at a time. 3 size 4 ballistics would have been nice on her. That would have been a lot. That would have been a lot. Last question for you guys before we wrap this up. Is this thing overpowered? Does it have a problem? Do you feel like they have dropped this ship in to be some extreme example of light fighters that inevitably will be nerfed within a month? Or does it feel like the ship has come in and been fairly balanced compared to its competitors? What say you? And also, let's see if we can find some sound. L21 Wolf Star Citizen audio. Let's see what it sounds like. Hey! Good old-fashioned morph review. Freaking architect reviews. I don't know if... Let's see, does he talk about the audio here? Beautiful sounds. So I'm not going to be able to hear it because my audio is completely messed up. But let's see what he had to say about it. The ship is not meta. It has its uses, not a daily. Pretty balanced overall, actually. Okay. You think it's pretty good? We'll have adjustments, but it's good overall. So you guys, you don't feel like they spec'd it to sell a lot, more so just to be in the game. Let's listen to the sound real quick.
Say that I'm sometimes guilty of also overlooking the sound design of some of these ships. The sound design of the Wolf really reinforces that impression beautifully.
Whoa. It's a lot.
Without the right audio cues, the ship would
Sounds good from what I can hear. I can barely hear anything, unfortunately. But the startup sounded pretty cool. That sounds nice. Can I just play what I was hoping that the ship would sound most like? I don't know if this is going to get me in copyright trouble, so I won't play this for too long. This sound, though.
We gave it the power of a supercar. Then we gave it the precision of a Lexus. And in turn, wrote a new definition
like the best.
of what's possible for an
Oh, God.
This is the pursuit of the impossible.
I just love the screechy kind of noise, you know? And I don't know how you could translate that into a spaceship, but I look at this and I'm like, I just want this thing to scream. Either way, there's a little deep look into the Wolf. We will get into this ship and actually fly with it on Wednesday and see what it can do. We can take out a Polaris or an Idris or the entirety of Grimhex with it. Yeah, the LFA is a sick car. Very, very cool car. Kind of rare, too. Would have been cool if it had that Star Wars World War II fighter sound. Talking about like that chugging noise that some of them make. You've seen videos of it melting larger ships in seconds? Okay. Interesting. Your friend who has one says the bang sound of the main engine firing gets old during the maneuvering. Oh, does it happen while you're maneuvering too? Loving the Wolf has been rough, considering some of the early bugs. See, there's the added benefit of being so old and out of the loop during these times. I didn't get to experience any of the early bugs. Winning strategy. All right, I think that's mostly everything that I had missed Star Citizen related while I was gone. Only 5 days away. Only some of the biggest content drops in the last month. The Anakin Skywalker chase scene where they're chasing the bounty hunters. Oh, with the, they're going around Coruscant. More a menace to ships like the Hammerhead. See, now that, I think that seems like it's saying something bad about the Hammerhead. They really need turrets to be better in this game. But I also realized, with the way that fleet battles work in this game, if you are going to make all these turrets be stronger, then when you look at something like, let's say the Scorpius trailer, like this kind of fighting, look at this. Just think about what's actually happening in this video. Look at how close all of these ships are to all the capital class ships around them. Let me turn this down a bit. Like, all of these ships are within striking distance of PDCs, right? They must be flying incredibly slow because he's flying next to a Bengal. And it's at this speed, it's going to take you at least 30 seconds to fly past that Bengal. So they're all flying slow, within range of PDCs. And I just think about how these sorts of fleet battles are going to play out in the future, and I realize, will that ever be a reality? For starters, nobody wants to fly this slow. Nobody, not even me. This has got to be like 100 meters per second, maybe. But then also, turrets have to be really powerful for capital ships to make more sense as the big power deterrent they are. So you also then can't really be that close to these kinds of ships that often. They make for a great background. But it does feel like most of the small scale fighting that is going to be like dogfighting and stuff is going to be disconnected from the capital ships, because capital ships are just annoying. And then the capital ships will have their own bouts of combat against each other with some bombers flying in and out. The reason the turrets are not shooting in the video is because the focus of the video is the crop. Cinematic stuff will never make sense in reality. Cap shouldn't fight at range. Cap should fight at range. You got the feeling that there's a lot of people wanting their Luke Skywalker moment and don't understand capitals are meant to be powerhouses. Right. The scrap, the fight, the dog fighting. Look at all these capital ships, man. If you were not on their team, you would be gone in this scenario, which I guess all these cutlasses are gone. But yeah, this is just something that I was thinking about yesterday. And I was like, capital ship fleet battles are going to be unlike anything Star Citizen like CIG has purposefully shown us yet. And it makes me wonder, like, what are they thinking? Like, they're probably ready to be surprised by how it plays out. They're designing the game to play a certain way, but does that mean that it's going to play that way? Oh, the Scorpius. Okay. We got there, Vasson. We were able to make it. Yeah, we'll definitely get this kind of stuff in Squadron 42. It's easy enough to make it happen in Squadron 42, right? You can literally just tell the capital ships, don't shoot the pilot too much. Don't shoot the player. They're flying around. They're having their fun. Like, let them blow you up a little bit. But in Star Citizen, you're going to have players flying these capital ships. You're going to have players in the turrets. You're going to have players flying the bombers, dogfighters, all kinds of stuff. And who knows how it's going to play out when all the pieces come together finally. The sneaky Kraken. Compare this fight scene to the opening bit from Squadron 42 with the caps all firing. Yeah, I mean, even there, even in that scene, it kind of goes to show they let a lot of dogfighters fly around the capital ships. But yeah, in that scene too, you could see just how far apart all of the capital ships are. Like they're not really super close. Some of them are pretty close, but most of them are like here's a good scene in here actually to yeah, this scene. So you could see the capital ships are pretty far apart from each other here. These two are fairly close, but like this one is pretty far from this one. This one down here is far from this one. I guess it's the middle of the battle. At that point, you're not as positionally aware. You got a little hammy over here. Ooh, ouch. No longer a hammy over there. I don't know. We'll see how it's going to turn out in Star Citizen. In Squadron, I'm sure it's going to be a freaking fantastic time. They could just curate it exactly how they need to for us to feel special. But in Star Citizen, that's going to be a challenge. Going to come down to coordination and formation. You see the high-end pilots fight. It's slow and tight formations. Right, but I'm more thinking like once you're being in a tight formation isn't really going to help you when you're just surrounded by capital ships like this. Look at this, dude. How could you survive this? Look at the chaos here. It's nuts. There's a hammerhead right here. There's the bangle, I think. You got a kraken over here. There's an Idris right there. I think there's another kraken right next to that one too. And then whatever this is down here, I think this might be a javelin. It's insane. That's nuts. But it's a trailer. Oh, that's how trailers are. You're gonna take a bet on how many players will die because they flew into each other. That's me. That's why I'm not flying. Find me on the Bengal Capitol Bridge, telling other people, "Hey, go attack that person. Yo, take that Pisces. Go get us some double dogs. Hey, you over there, drop that EMP." Good job, everybody. Main weapon ranges are not that far, even for capitals yet, aside from torps and missiles. Fair. When you've been in a Polaris engagement, it's been all about navigating to get behind the other one at super close distance to avoid the turrets and shoot up the engines. Boring. Yeah, that's like more of what a medium-sized ship would be doing. Has anyone taken the footage they recorded live of the SC prologue and compared it to the re-recorded footage they released to see if there were differences in the outcome effects of Maelstrom? I'd be interested to see how scripted or not the prologue is, and the difference in the two might be an indicator of such. I have not done that. That'd be an interesting project. You're playing some X4, the bigger ships have flat cannons that just rip up any fighter style size things. Dude, X4 is releasing another update soon. It's like a mini update, but I am truly astounded by the ability for the X series X4 to stay so on the ball with their updates and what they're doing. I don't know if they're working on X5 yet. Let's see. Who makes X4? Their name? Egosoft, that's right. Has Egosoft started on X5? No official announcement. It's highly likely they're in early stages of planning or prototyping given the long development cycle. This is all pulled from Reddit. Significant time gaps between X series releases. X3 in 2005, X4 in 2018. Okay, so X5 is probably well away. I would be so freaking excited, though, to know what they might be trying to do with X5. But it's probably a long ways away, judging by how long they take in between games. Coupled flight is terrible because it makes them more likely to collide with other ships. Because what, they fly where they shoot? Unknown user, you're not alone. Having trouble with situational awareness with combat and asteroids. I think we need a better graphic readout of what's going on around our ships in this game. I think PDCs should definitely have their own power pips. They should certainly be integrated into the power system. So you have to sacrifice how effective they are compared to everything else you're using. I agree with you there, Waffle. You'd be interested in getting back into X4 after the CIG devs join them. John Pritchett. John Pritchett went in and redid their flight model. I don't know if the flight model has been fully changed over. But yeah, I would love to start playing X series here on the stream. That ship is that game is amazing. If the X series had good graphics, Happy Hungry Sleeper gets it. Sleepy, sorry. You get it. The only thing that keeps me off of X4 constantly is probably the UI and the graphics. If they had really nice graphics in that game, I would be such a sucker for that. That and cross progression between Xbox and PC. And I would play that game nonstop. You just want friendly AI fighters that don't ram into your own ships. Steep learning curve, no? For the X series? I don't think so. I mean, depends on how deep you want to get into the game, but I jumped in and I spent probably about an hour getting used to it, understanding it, and I felt like I had a fairly good grasp of how to play the game. Speaking of other games, can I talk to you guys about one that I really find has a special place in my heart? If you are a salvaging nut, if you enjoy the cutting up of ships, the munching of metals, the volatility of vacuum, I don't have any other catchphrases. Hardspace Shipbreaker is a really cool game. A surprisingly effective salvaging game that takes place in space where you cut apart spaceships, you take into account the hazards involved in that, you pick your own strategy. It's like a puzzle game, and every spaceship is a different puzzle, and you got to figure out how to dismantle it and make enough money to keep going so that the company you work for doesn't continue to recycle your body and keep you a slave to their debt. Big announcement for Hardspace Shipbreaker happened last week. Blackbird Interactive actually acquired the full ownership of the game. So they are now self-published. And it sounds like that means they're going to start to expand the franchise a little bit more outside of just salvaging games. They said, today we're revealing that Blackbird Interactive reached an agreement with Focus Entertainment, our publishing partner, to reacquire full ownership of the Hardspace Shipbreaker intellectual property. Really freaking, I'm happy for them, man. That's some good stuff. That's good stuff. That is like, as a game studio, I can't imagine there is much better than being able to reacquire the rights to your game and go self-published. What does this mean for the game going forward? Blackbird Interactive fully owns and controls Hardspace Shipbreaker, and as our studio begins this exciting new chapter, Hardspace is going to become a core part of our business strategy going forward. Notice they say Hardspace. I don't know if that just means Hardspace Shipbreaker or more. They say multiple Hardspace projects are already in development, so maybe there are other like space sim games they're going to work on. I think it'd be cool if they took what they're doing with Shipbreaker and moved it towards a mining style game. And you just get a really in-depth, really crunchy space mining game with the humor and writing of Hardspace Shipbreaker. They said, we're not ready to share any specifics yet, but rest assured we have paid close attention to your feedback and are laser focused on ensuring this next generation of Hardspace extends on the original game in all the right ways. So it might just be that it's all stuff that still has to do with the original Hardspace Shipbreaker, but they are planning on extending whatever it is they've been doing. They're planning a small update to Shipbreaker to reflect BBI's full ownership over the product, mainly just with the splash screens, logos, and privacy policies. And they're going to grow the community. It's still early days, so please bear with us. But if you haven't, please sure join the Discord, as this will become the place to talk with our teams and learn more about what's next. Focused Entertainment will no longer be affiliated with Hardspace Shipbreaker, but let's not mince words. Shipbreaker wouldn't be what it is today without them. We're eternally grateful for their partnership and willingness to work with us, so we could take full ownership of the IP. I hope everything was amicable and just good energies. Finally, they say that you can actually join their Pioneer program. I have done this. It will allow you to get into early playtests of their next projects, get you design behind the scenes stuff, opportunities to help shape the next generation of games, participate in contests, and more. I don't know where this is going to go. This is a relatively light announcement. Obviously, they're keeping things pretty close to the chest, but this is a great game. I think anybody who loves salvage in space, especially if you like Star Citizen salvage and you want to see something that's a little more in-depth, Hardspace Shipbreaker is the best way I've seen to do it so far. I think I might have, let's see, Space Tomato, Hardspace Shipbreaker. I might have some footage playing this somewhere out there. This is our own stream. Man, this is way back in the day. I don't even know where I'm sitting here. Where am I? This is the problem with having moved around so much. When was this? April 2022. I genuinely don't know where I was for this, but you can see the gameplay in the background. It's a lot about breaking specific parts of spaceships in half, or in not half, it could be in quarters, whatever you want. Tractor beaming them around to the correct location and making sure to strip them of specific materials that go to other locations. It's been probably one of my favorite space-based games I've played in a long time, and it's really only focused on salvage. So if you're looking for something that is like Star Citizen, that does a lot more and allows you to do other things in the meantime, not saying that this is going to do it for you, but I think this is just another game that's really good to have in the catalog whenever you feel like just relaxing, sitting back and listening to some nice music. It's got some really solid space ambient style music, little synth wave and design. And if you played a game like Satisfactory, it has that same sort of humor of the company that you work for really doesn't care about you, and they put you on with a lot of debt, and you have to pay off that debt, and that's kind of the whole goal of the game. So it's just a little quick update. This is what I've been wanting to do. As many of you know, I started Space Games Weekly about a month ago on the main channel. Didn't work out too much. It actually kind of killed the channel. So anybody who hops in there and shares a video or two or watches a video, that helps us very much get back onto the path that we were on before. But I'm moving it over to Space Tomato 2, and this is how I want to do it. Little short blocks where we look at these games and talk a little bit more about how they work, what the fun parts of them are, why I'm interested in them. So I hope you got a little bit of information from this, a little update on Hardspace Shipbreaker. Thanks for checking it out. It's great on the Steam Deck? Yeah, I bet. Oh, here's a little video that I saw of the Falling Frontier that was posted a little bit earlier this year. Figured I could show you guys this. This is also a really amazing game. I'm extremely excited to see where this goes.
Contact on sensors. It's a ship. Drive signature is unregistered. Titan warship. This is Captain Batcher, ensign on the stateless Pantera. I offer you a parley of teeth. Surrender your vessel, kill your reactor, load all personnel on whatever escape craft you possess, and leave Voidside. Do so and live to see another day. have 30 seconds to respond. Captain Berkshire out.
So this is an RTS, but to be quite honest, it plays pretty cinematic. Not indifferent from a lot of other RTS games, but I think this has the potential to get a lot of people that like that cinematic vibe in space that maybe wouldn't normally play an RTS.
Tell your crew to prepare for void side, as it's the last thing they will see. Rear Admiral Campbell out.
And that was about it. It was just a little teaser. This one's unlisted on their YouTube page, so I figured I'd give you guys a little show of what they're showing there. But if you haven't heard of it, it's called Falling Frontier. Pretty cool looking RTS game. Here we go. This will give you some better ideas. I like to think of it as an RTS that took a little bit of 4X with it, like Stellaris. It's a little bigger in scale than a lot of RTS games you might play.
Coming around for FTL jump. Angle's good. Speed and jump drive. Coordinate moving.
Ship locked in for conduit travel.
So you can scale out quite a bit further than a lot of games of this style. Just sort of move around star systems.
Allied Sikula mining barge. This is Coventry class warship. Yankee, Oscar, 3-9. Data packet, acknowledge.
Friendly warship very.
And it's not just, so like, obviously as most space games like to have you do, you're not just battling, you need to find resources. Our base requires more minerals, you need additional pylons, all that jazz. So you do have to go and do space mining expeditions and make sure that you're protecting your people while they're doing that. And that's also really nice because, like, I love a space game that's not just about one thing. That's why I play Star Citizen. Does look a bit like Homeworld, yeah. It feels like Homeworld mixed with The Expanse, mixed with Stellaris. That's what I describe it as, and may make it sound a little bit different than it is, but I think it hits the vibes they're going for.
Probe bays online. Bringing possible targets online now. There's action over a nearby colony in the sector. Friendly ships are currently engaged.
And I don't know how much you can do from up here like this. Like if you can sit at this sort of level and do a lot of higher level organization of your fleets. But if there is the ability to play from a really close-up RTS ability standpoint, or from like this perspective where you're looking at the whole system and it's a little more 4X in style, that hits the same kind of thing that attracts me to X4, which is that scalability of gameplay and style. The Dawn, thank you so much for the super chat over on YouTube, dude. Love the vids. Do you know if they said at the Idris in-game now would get the same visual update as the Squadron 42 model? Probably not. The Squadron 42 model is going to be the UEE edition that has like a lot of that specific military styling, and they want it to be a important hero location that feels different from anything we've experienced. So I don't think it's supposed to get the same visual updates to Star Citizen. I think they might have mentioned that. Somebody in chat might be able to corroborate that for me, but I do believe they want them to be distinct. This game, by the way, that we're looking at is called Falling Frontier. Anybody who wants to throw it on the wish list or check it out further. I love this. When you set travel, you can actually see how long it's going to take to travel there to do a little recon. That's where I get the 4X kind of feeling of gameplay.
Calculating celestial path.
Yeah, the fact this is being made by one person is pretty crazy.
Path locked in, probe en route.
Yeah, I love that you also have the physics of what you're firing to deal with. If you're firing some slow-moving shots, you are more likely to miss the people you're shooting at.
Surface targets locked in, missiles away.
Yeah, you could just take a cue from the Covenant and blast the whole planet. I guess that's a thing too. Very kind of them.
Hannibal, this is Gulliver Base. Permission granted. Berwick-class frigate Certis and Coventry-class frigate Karatha have been dispatched to assist. Rendezvous coordinates to following data packet. Good hunting.
Not gonna lie, I kind of get Command and Conquer vibes from this too. No, I'm not playing right now. This is a video that they posted. This is not playable yet. It's been being worked on for a while. The release date got delayed a few times, but honestly, with one person working on it, and clearly the scale of this has expanded over the time since it was introduced. I think it was around, I want to say like 5 years ago now, 5 or 6 years ago. Clearly, obviously, it needed a lot more work, but I think it looks great. I still can't wait for it. I'm going to keep giving little updates like this throughout the year and up until its release. It's not any sort of like specific thing that I'm not getting paid for it or anything like that. It's just an exciting space game and it looks cool. And that's why we're here. Space games are exciting. They're pretty sick. But yeah, that is that's just a little bit of extra space game stuff I wanted to look at the end of this stream, besides our Star Citizen updates. And I'll tell you this, since I started covering games other than Star Citizen during this stream, we've lost 70 viewers. That doesn't really bother me because like there's tons of people here just hanging out and having a good time, and I do not really mind that. But that's kind of, I'm saying that because that extrapolated is what happened to our main channel over the last month. And the way that YouTube works, or the way that I guess just in general interest in games works, that can really mess with you. That's why I want to start to cover these games one video at a time, rather than trying to put out videos that cover 4 or 5 different games all at once. That's just confusing to the algorithm. You could see a new Command and Conquer space game being made if Westwood Studios was still running. Who owns that franchise now? Don't tell me Embracer Group, please. I will hate myself for that. There are so many single dev space games out there. There are. Just goes to show how much people like space, you know? I'm gonna go through game development on my own for that crap. Gross. You only care about SC? You are still here though, Hustle. Does FOIP or Faceware work in 4.3? I don't know. I actually need to get my eye tracker set back up. I'm working on a video for my eye tracker. for any of you guys who are interested in getting one. Gonna have a deal for you. So probably releasing this video either tomorrow or Wednesday. It will showcase how the eye tracker works, what I use it for, which is actually a lot more than just in Star Citizen. I think it's pretty good to use for like biometric security and stuff like that. But also going to get you a 20% discount on the eye tracker. So it has gone up quite a bit in price ever since I got one. And the tariffs made it go up in price again this year. But with the 20% discount, you should be able to get it for around the same price that I originally got it at like 5 years ago. Bitly link for the Toby is broken, by the way. Thank you. Good to know. We'll keep that in mind. Let me write that down real quick just so we know. You can't recalibrate, try to use your webcam. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't have a webcam set up to even try FOIP. I'm not sure if it's broken or not. EA still has the rights to Command and Conquer? Ah, that's crappy. Is there another game similar to Star Citizen where you can buy ships with real money? I mean, technically you can buy ships with real money in Elite Dangerous. I don't know if there are any others like that. Too lazy to leave, Hustle. I feel you. There's a way to live. Oh, you can sell us a ship. How was the meeting, Jay? You'll take real money? Sorry, I only have AUEC. Can I buy a ship from you with AUEC? Does it work like that? Got your new pod next in the queue. I had a good talk with Paul. If y'all haven't seen the new podcast, it's out and thriving. Me and Paul talked about the apologetic statement that CIG made this last month, or this last week. We talked about sort of their communication overall this year, how it's been going, where it seems to be heading, and maybe how they can improve things like their communication surrounding some of these more troubled events. It might feel like a negative talk. Honestly, I think it's actually pretty positive, but I'd say go into it with an open mind. Hear out the ideas. Leave your criticisms in the comments. We'd love to see them. I actually think that's on command. Exclamation point podcast makes it pop up, maybe? Well, that's weird. Why did it work on there, but not on... It better be good or else it won't be. Dude, go into it expecting a bad podcast and you'll never be disappointed. Huh. I don't know why it doesn't work like... Ah, there it is. Okay, Twitch. You're just weird. Was it really an apology vid or just a, hey, this is what you signed up for vid? It was more an explanation than an apology. I'll give you that. But I do think that it was acknowledging at least that they should have been better on top of how it would have worked. I think it still would have been better off being done towards the beginning of the event rather than after 4.3 came out, though. Or as 4.3 was coming out. You watched it today, Wolf's Light? Thank you for checking it out. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Any thoughts on it? Any feelings about it? Did it bring forth inexplainable emotions to the forefront of your mind? Oh, the game you were talking about is called Star Atlas. Yeah, that is that's quite a bit different from Star Citizen. They have like a full market. Their whole thing is based off of blockchain tech. They want to do, they basically, I think they have a cryptocurrency pegged to the game itself. And that kind of defines whether or not the game succeeds, which seems incredibly dangerous to do. You thought it was an apology too until X convinced you it wasn't, which is rare. Gonna finish it on your commute back home. That's when I do my podcasts. Podcasts are great for commutes. That's your view on this year, which is great, but you think they need to state that. You think they need to say these events are meant to fix issues and the rewards are incentives to play and help them become better? I think they're just trying to get people playing, man. I would hope that it was a chance for them to... I would hope it was a chance for them to do more testing, but I genuinely don't think they're going into it thinking that it's going to provide testing. Like, I don't think that they were like, oh, we need a way to test cargo elevators, so they came up with this event. Otherwise, you know, maybe put the fixes in before you do the test. We already tested it enough to tell you guys it's broken. Hard to call something an apology when the word sorry is not said, just saying. That's fair. I don't know. I think ultimately they need to work on how they're handling these things and when they actually bring them up, you know, the problems that are being had versus like you can't just leave something for people to talk about. You gotta get out ahead of it, and it doesn't feel like they really feel the need to get out ahead of these things. You don't expect CIG to apologize? I think the apology was extending the event. Ultimately, they got 4.3 out, and they kept the event going, and they made a deal out of it, obviously, to say this was not the plan to keep 4.3 out, but we're doing it because we realized that not everybody got the chance to do what they needed to do to complete the event. And that's about as much as an apology as we would get. That, and also acknowledging that things have been rough. But yeah, it's not like a formal sorry sort of thing. It's more, this is why this happened. And it's unfortunate, but we're trying. And it comes down to the fact that they're just rushing out a whole bunch of content this year. More like owning up to a mistake, right? Still on the point that they did the events on purpose to narrow down the issues of the elevators. Well, I'll tell you what, if we see the elevators get fixed in the next 2 patches, I'll be willing to lean more towards that. But as of now, I don't think that this event is going to lead to them getting those. I don't want to say it won't lead to them getting it fixed. I think it'll get fixed based on the feedback that they got, not necessarily on some like objective that they set out to complete. No, Star Citizen's not doing anything with the blockchain. That's a different game called Star Atlas. It's another star. Hard to keep up with them all, but there are a lot in the night sky. We gotta use our memory balls. You finished the event last night, thankfully. You finished by as in like you completed a tier, or you completed all of the tiers for all of the people? 4.3 has felt very good so far. Haven't tested the event since the update though. I'm scared to. Just want to be able to bedlog with your bugs on the Polaris so we can do space one piece. They need to figure out what happens when you bedlog on somebody's bed and then you log in before they do. Chaos Theory said all the elevators are... Oh, said are the elevators broken again? Not that I've heard. Sounds like there are some problems, but not everything is broken. This game is like 5 years minimum from 1.0. People mad about a test. Well, yeah, hustle. I mean, I'm more in your camp, like in the sense that this game is nowhere near being Star Citizen. And I do get annoyed with certain complaints regarding that. I don't think it's worth discrediting though, because CIG has done a very, very good job of getting people into the game to play the game rather than getting them into the game to test the environment. And it's like a thin line, the difference between the two. But they're clearly trying to get people to play this game as a game. And yeah, the whole thing is still a test. I mean, heck, they're not even focused on Star Citizen, right? They're focused on Squadron. Most people don't get to know that though. That's this week's video. And I actually need to go get started on writing that. So I think I'm gonna start wrapping things up soon. 4-3 has been solid so far. I managed to get R Corp completed. Hurston to follow, maybe. Someday I'll get R Corp completed, maybe. I don't know. I might not ever get it completed. Genuinely, there's more stuff to do in the game now. It's your responsibility from all parties involved. Your body should still be there if you bedlog in a stranger ship and you are exposing yourself. The ship should stream in with all its contents. Right, I'm saying if you bedlog from somebody's ship and then they bedlog, making their ship get stored, what happens when you log back in? Because wouldn't it suck if you bedlogged on your friend's ship and then your friend flew 5 star systems away, and then you and your friend were supposed to get on to meet at 5 o'clock someday to go play. So you log on at 5:05 expecting that he's already online in the ship, but then it logs you on back 5 systems away where you originally were. Should it do that, or should it spawn their ship in while they're still offline? Because then you have the risk of, well, okay, what if you spawn in a place that's dangerous? Do you really want to let somebody else spawn your ship in while you're not there? I do think that body should persist. I'm more thinking about the other side of it with the ship. Yeah, it's a hard one. You think the ship should persist and come back on, then you have to beacon for a transport, but then your friend's ship is just left there. Like if your friend, and maybe they're not even a friend, you know, maybe they're an acquaintance. Maybe you let your friend bring their friend along, and then at the end of the day, you guys all log out on your ship. Well, now your friend's friend has the ability to spawn your ship back in. Honestly, that could be a little clever piracy move. Yeah, I think it would make sense for it to spawn you back in wherever the ship was last, or wherever you spawned last. But then you could also accidentally lose multiple hours worth of travel time because you spawned in 20 seconds before your friend spawned in with their ship. That's like a scary possibility. Why are you letting people you don't trust in your ship? Shoot, man. At some point, it's going to happen. At some point, if you are the owner of an org, or you run a big crew, or even if you're not the owner of an org, you're just part of a big org. The 15 people that come onto your Polaris or something, one of them might make a mistake. You let the player decide for orgs only. You give the person the option to allow their ship to be spawned for org mates. And if they don't, that means the person would just automatically respawn back at the last place they were at. That's one more thing for players to keep track of. Okay, so did this person say that their ship can be spawned by other players? No? Okay, I want to be on that person's ship then. It's just, it's gonna snowball into a super complicated system. And I genuinely don't know how you figure it out. All of these are possibilities, but what will they actually choose? Someone in the comments came at you saying, bro, you're a cult member for saying it's an alpha. Brother, I've spent less and less time in the comments over the years. And it's sad. I used to really like the comments. I actually generally will wait for comments to play out now, and then I'll just scroll through most of the top ones. Because even in the top comments, there's plenty of criticisms, but less insults. I don't like insults. I'm a big anti-fan of insults. I think if you get to the point where you're in an argument and you're insulting the other person, then you've lost the plot of the argument. There's no point in arguing because you're not arguing. You're just insulting. You're just trying to hurt the other person, not actually get to a point. What music is this? This song is called, I want to say Tundra? No, Fly Up High by Flint. We do need better permissions on ships. I do think that the ship permission system is coming with a later version of engineering. Part of what they wanted to work on with engineering was the ability to assign responsibilities to different players on the ship. What they have access to and what they don't. It's easier if you just accept the consequences of trust. Yeah. I'm thinking probably you just allow people to spawn ships back in if they spawned off on that ship, logged off on that ship, and players figure it out from there. Good luck, players. Unfortunately, a lot of times things are not associated with malice when they could just be associated with being stupid. I don't remember what the saying is, but it's something like that. Don't assume malice where stupidity also makes sense, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are kind of dumb. Like the average person is going to miss a lot of things. And then there's like a good large amount of the population that is less intelligent than the average person. So that's one of the biggest things social media ever did, right? It just gave everybody a megaphone. Some of the best of us, and also some of the worst of us. And unfortunately, that allows the worst of us to also conglomerate into groups of the worst of us and drag other people into that group of the worst of us. And the internet suddenly becomes the greatest vehicle to transport messages of cults and conspiracies and anti-intellectual statements that don't end up getting conversations or arguments any further along the line. But also, the internet allows us to join in groups like this and have a good time, and also dabble in conspiracies and unintellectual statements of buy this ship and go to this planet. It's just the way it is. And I still haven't come to terms with that. I might be one of those stupid people. Who really knows? You'd want to spawn back in on the Idris whenever it is if you were serving crew, right? Yeah. Yeah, you do. But what happens if nobody else is on that Idris? You accidentally spawn your org's Idris in the most dangerous part of the game, and it's 1 out of 30 people on board. You know gamers don't read, right? That brings me back. Did I ever show you guys, I said in a video that gamers don't read? And somebody took it very, very seriously. I wonder if I have that comment saved here. I actually don't think... I think I didn't actually save that comment. To be honest, I don't remember where it was even posted now. It was on my video. I don't remember what video it was posted on, but I said gamers don't read, and man, this person they plugged like my whole script into ChatGPT basically, and had it like pick apart my script. And one of the things that it was saying was that by me opening the video saying gamers don't read, I was trying to invalidate gamers and like bully them, manipulate them. And I'm like, brother, I'm talking about myself, man. The gamers don't read good joke is a funny one. It really can trigger people. You could choose who's going to be crew on the ship. I don't think it's so much a trust thing. I think it's more a mistake kind of thing. It's kind of like the idea of consequences for death. I don't think consequences for death are a bad thing, but I do think that people are going to run into bad situations where a glitch happens or you die accidentally from something that's really dumb that nobody expected. I think the same thing's going to happen with bed logging on large ships. Not to say they shouldn't do it, just like complications come up, you know? Have I seen all the alien stuff popping up? You mean the Vandal? It's supposed to be a pocket of safety in the dark forest. Brother, we are the forest. We're the garden. We just filled with a whole bunch of fruits and veggies. Makes things a little more palatable. In the end, you just want to enjoy SC, and as long as you have fun and the decisions they make are good and improve the experience, you're fine with it. Listen, I've got a lot of things that I really want from Star Citizen, and I will complain about all kinds of them when the times come. Like, I have plenty of complaints, and I've been called a hater more times than I can count this year for that, which is whatever. I don't really mind at this point. I'm kind of over that. But I look at the list of stuff that they have planned for this game here, and I'm like, bruh, if you guys can pull this off, I'm gonna be happy. All right, there are gonna be plenty of particulars that I won't enjoy. There's never been a video game out there that I've liked every single thing that was done for that game, and so cool. Figure it out. Do your thing. That's fine. Two things I really just care about are making sure the monetization models don't get out of hand and making sure that the game still is geared around consequences and choices. Everything else, you guys figure out how to make it happen. It's a space game. We're going to do space stuff. I'm down for that. So yeah, I get what you mean. You just want to have fun in this game. They went off on that one. On what, the Mr. Kraken podcast? Oh, were people commenting that on the podcast too? I was talking about a video from earlier this year. Man, now I need to find that video. Hold on. That was... Which video was that? It must have been... This one? To focus Star Citizen's development. I have no idea, honestly. I'm not gonna be able to find out what video that was. It was one of the longest comments I've ever received, and the person deleted it, but it also resulted in a Spectrum thread that linked my video and then left the same comment. I couldn't be bothered to go back and find it at this point. You'd rely on either shift or the captain's placing it somewhere safe when logging. Right. If you're looking for my computer specs, ! Kit will make it pop up, marshaled. CIG could code it so that ships can't spawn in on active battle areas, a bit like spawning on a squad mate in BF. Yeah, and what would they do then? Give you the option to spawn somewhere else? Be like, oh, the ship is in combat. You can't spawn in. I would hate to just be told I can't spawn into the game. Laughed at that intro where you said Star Citizen development with the Olisar blowing up B-roll playing. They're all jokes, man. But some people get really mad about them. I get DMs about this stuff sometimes. Like, somebody once DM'd me because of my facial expression in the thumbnail for one of the podcast episodes. And I'm like, brother, that's one frame from the whole hour and a half. All right. The fact that you commented on that is kind of why I did it. Not really. I usually pick a certain frame because it looks really engaging and interesting. It generally doesn't have anything to do with the whole video. It has to do with the events and activities coverage. Yeah, then I think it was that one that I pulled up. Maybe we'll find it someday. Mihai. You bouncing out, my dude. Wait, did you? Oh, Mihai. Hey, my man. Mihai Soares. Dropping 10 subs, dude. Why? Why'd you do this? Off to bed, happy rest of the stream. Thank you, Mihai. I appreciate you, dude. Thanks for being such a cool part of the community. Great part of Team GII. A homie here on chat. Have a lovely sleep, my man. It is so weird. It's so weird not being awake at this hour. The jet lag is going to start to hit me soon. I know it. Because it's like 11 p.m. back where we came from right now. So give it a moment. Give it a little time. Is it 11 p.m.? No, it's 9 p.m. Yeah, like 3 hours. Wait, Mihai's going on the Toes Gang for the day. Hell yeah, dude. I'm so happy to have the Toes Gang board back. We do keep track of this. Oh, you guys can't even see it there. We do keep track of this. And I won't say anything more than that, actually, because I don't want to spoil things and give people the wrong reasons to support. But yeah, I love the Toes Gang board. I've been missing that when we were in Turkey. Choose the nearest station location that you have rep with, or your base or space station once we have them. It's a rabbit hole for sure. It's a rabbit hole. It's the kind of thing that, like, I genuinely don't think that CIG really has their full answer for it just yet. Yeah, Jay, we are back in Cali, dude, and it feels so good. It's so nice, man. I'm so happy to be here. You have no idea! It's good, dude. It's good. I'm looking forward to getting things back rolling to where they were a few months ago. This summer was absolutely insane with family stuff. Yeah. I'm not gonna out it all here on a live stream, but many of you have gotten an idea of it all. It's actually, I mean, even you guys can see, like, from the way that the feed is coming through in 1440p to the fact that we haven't had any electricity problems. Make sure that doesn't actually happen again. We have running water here that's consistent. It's very nice. We are blessed, and I am going to forever pay so much more attention to the luxuries and the, like, just niceties that we have here. Who won the giveaway? Pagla Mia won the giveaway, got themselves an RSI Meteor with a copy of the game. But Lobu, we do have another one. Started up fresh. Thank you to the good folks of Toes Gang and everybody who has contributed to the support today. We passed our goals, so we have started the giveaway of a new. Whoa! Fuck! Jesus Christ! Mrs. Tomato is back. Yeah, we are giving away a Kruger LL21 Wolf with a copy of the game courtesy of CIG. Make sure to get in on that and then hang around over the next couple weeks. Probably be giving that away in 2 to 3 weeks here. Do we have a secret tomato, Mrs. Tomato? Do we have a secret tomato code? A tomat code? Or were you before? I'm somewhat new, so out of this loop. No problem, no smoking. We were in Turkey. My wife is from Turkey, so we go back there to visit family. but we are not anymore. Pragma, thank you for the Prime sub, my friend. Appreciate you 6 months supporting the stream out here, keeping the tomatoes rolling, the seeds flowing. And that's not, don't take that the wrong way. Is the RSI chair comfortable? I wouldn't say get this chair for comfort. I wouldn't. But I would say that my back constantly hurts when we're at the other place. It was that one's an HP Omen chair, so like yeah, it's a chair branded by a computer company, but this is a chair branded by a game company or an alpha company, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't really matter who brands it; it matters who makes it. And my point being that was just a generic gaming chair. This is kind of, it's not a generic gaming chair. This is a modular chair that's made for customization, generally so that you can attach a lot of sim pit stuff to it. And I'm not going to tell most people to get a chair like this because this is not made for most people. This is specifically made for people who are trying to play flight sims and other stuff like that. But yeah, that being said, it might not be the most comfortable, but holy crap, I feel fine in it. And my back has never hurt sitting in it. And I pull 9-hour days working on this thing nonstop. And then I get up and I can actually walk around. I couldn't say that for the other chair. Is it breathable? It's not mesh. So like you're not getting any better breathability than other chairs of similar construction. I want to say I don't get as sweaty and hot in it, but again, the other place that I was using a chair was very humid and warm all the time, so it's not exactly the same comparison. It's not particularly breathable. I think there are other chairs, if you are looking for comfort and breathability specifically, there are other chairs that will do you one better. I'm not sure if we have an affiliate code with this. I have to check with management on that one. His back hurt for like 3 years straight, then this chair never hurt again, so yay, yeah. And it's not an ad, I promise. I'm not trying to advertise this. I know I just mentioned an affiliate code. That's just in case you did want to buy one and you wanted to support us, but no, I'm just... Yeah, we don't have any sort of affiliate code or anything with this. So it's like literally just my own personal feelings on this. I like the chair, and I think if you are looking to expand with a HOTAS or something, this would be great. That being said, if you do want to support the channel and you're looking to get a new peripheral, like I said, that Tobii eye tracker, I will be dropping a link for that or a video for that this week sometime, and have a little opportunity to win an extra one there. Oh, we do have a code. Well, well, that makes that whole statement kind of awkward. There is that, I guess. You have the Razer Enki gaming chair, and it is so good. Is that the one that has the haptic feedback? I know Razer has something that allows you to get haptic feedback while you're playing, which is pretty cool on their part. Good look, good move. Maverick, thank you for the bits, dude. You're lovely, man. Oh, thought I was talking about the sticks, yeah. It's their all-day chair. Okay. Well, that's cool. Everybody's making chairs now. Everybody's making everything. We were just talking to Mrs. Tomato about like my favorite grocery store growing up is now not a grocery store. It's like it sells all kinds of stuff. They rent out equipment. I'm like, what happened, dude? Everybody does everything. You got Monster Tech's chair mounts for your twin stick setup? Nice, man. Yeah, I should be getting my mounts sometime soon. We'll set up our VKBs and then I'll do a proper review on the chair and the setup and all of that stuff. To give some better thoughts on it and better feedback and better reviews, and then tell you to go use our affiliate code. But honestly, folks, that's going to be it for me today. I think we got caught up on everything that I missed while we were gone, so we can get back up to speed and start doing real stuff on Wednesday. We'll be playing with the L21 Wolf. I will probably take the chance to do a little bit more of my my actual, what's it called? Stuff. I'm going to be doing, gosh, what is it? The event, the resource drive event stuff on Wednesday. And I will touch on any news that does come up between then and now. Oh yeah, we'll have a cooking stream too. Hell yeah, we're gonna do a sushi bake on Wednesday. You guys, if you haven't been around for a cooking stream, we do these every Wednesday and it's good times. We generally just have a couple drinks, kick back with the crew here on the channel, talk about Star Citizen, answer any questions you might have, just kind of hang out as a community. It's good times, and we love food here. I think this is probably one of the only streams where we didn't get into a food-focused conversation. But don't worry, we'll have plenty of that on Wednesday. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the amazing support. A lovely welcome home, folks. I am super freaking pumped to be back. Let's go. I'm looking forward to the streams and the videos and hopefully some of the garden meetups that we have here shortly. We will have more news about the Garden Digital CitizenCon viewing party, hopefully for you by Wednesday as well. So keep an eye out for that. Keep your schedules open. Sorry, we're a little, we're trying to get the folks to give us some proper answers on when that, where and when that will all happen. So more of that coming to you soon. Hey, unknown user, thank you for becoming a member over on YouTube. Just saw you there. I did not miss you, my friend. Thanks again, everybody. You're lovely people. You deserve good things. Treat yourselves well. Go do something you love today. Hang out with somebody you love. Eat something you love. Give somebody a hug. If you have a dog, go pet it. Dogs are awesome. And if you have a house, give thanks for it. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye. This is Tomato. We'll see you on Wednesday too.